Taking back billions. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. After Senate passage overnight, the House is expected to vote tonight to make spending cuts proposed by the Trump administration official. Here's Fox's Ryan Schmelz.
After an all-night vote-a-rama, the Senate passes the $9 billion rescissions package with cuts to foreign aid and public broadcasting.
This is a great first step.
Florida Senator Ashley Moody on Fox and Friends First was one of 51 Republicans voting for the package, with Republicans Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski joining almost all Democrats in voting against it. A rescissions package allows the White House to request spending cuts from Congress that can pass with a simple majority in both chambers. It now heads back to the House, where Republicans will need to pass it before Friday's deadline. On Capitol Hill, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
The House is expected to start voting this afternoon on 3 bills dealing with cryptocurrency regulation. Some of the tariffs due to go into effect August 1st, 30% on imports from the European Union.
2 weeks from tomorrow, President Trump's new 30% tariff on imports from the European Union could go into effect. If that happens, the industries that could be most affected would be pharma. We import $91 billion a year from Europe there. Medicine, $49 billion. Vehicles, $45 billion. Machines, $16 billion. Aircraft, $16 billion. And motors, $15 billion. Between the U.S. and the European Union, that makes up 30% of global trade. If the Europeans wind up retaliating against the U.S., it could directly impact these industries the most: crude oil, civilian aircraft and parts, petroleum and natural gas, medicine, cars and trucks, and aircraft.
Fox's Peter Ducey at the White House. Coca-Cola says more details on, quote, new innovative offerings are on the way, not confirming President Trump saying that Coca-Cola is bringing real cane sugar back to their U.S. drinks. America's listening to Fox News.
At LendSeek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply today with no cost or obligation at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-785-1155. That's 800-785-1155.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Scattered thunderstorms going through the afternoon, some with very heavy downpours of rain and intense lightning, 72. Overall, it's not a widespread severe weather outbreak, but there will be a couple of strong storms. Friday, partly sunny. It's cooler, but still the chance of a pop storm. 85 on Friday, then all about summer this weekend and all of next week. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. If you need a new air conditioner installed this summer, call a company you can trust to install your AC properly. That will get your home cool and comfortable fast. For a free estimate on a new air conditioner, visit aircomfortservice.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Jill Biden increased significantly today. We had her chief of staff and her self-proclaimed work husband there for what we planned to be an 8-hour deposition, and he kept invoking the Fifth Amendment, and his lawyer finally said, you can ask all the questions you want. We're going to invoke the Fifth Amendment on every question. So we need to know, was Jill Biden the one calling the shots? While Joe Biden was incapacitated, Anthony Bernal had an opportunity to answer those questions today. He chose to invoke the Fifth Amendment, so I would say her odds significantly increased, Sean.
So there you have James Comer talking about, in charge of the House Oversight Committee, talking about the possibility that we might actually see Jill Biden be called in to testify and potentially plead the Fifth. That's one of those questions. I might ask this tomorrow on the YouTube poll. Do you think that pleading the Fifth implies automatic guilt? Because it doesn't. But that's kind of the way we talk about it. If you plead the Fifth, we've had people on both sides of the aisle certainly having that conversation about, well, they get compelled to come in to testify, they plead the Fifth, and then the other side certainly goes, oh, yeah, absolutely, that's automatically guilty. And we're like, oh, no, it's their Fifth Amendment right. And so we argue for our side. You can't just say that the Fifth Amendment does not imply guilt only when your side is the one pleading the Fifth. And if you don't trust the people who are in charge, then you, why would you testify? Why would you put yourself in a position to answer questions with a corrupt Justice Department, with a corrupt system that is out to get you? Now, I watched President Trump, and so have you, go through a lot of lawfare through a Justice Department that was very, very aggressive in prosecution, but also in manipulation and fabrication of information. Hans von Spakovsky is going to be with us in about 15 minutes from now, a little bit less than 15 minutes from now. And I think that we are going rapidly into a direction of this administration where it's not so much about legislation. It's not so much about the Republican slim majority in the House, the Republican majority in the Senate, trying to get things done. We did that with the big, beautiful bill. But now we are working towards the other thing that I know a lot of us voted for Donald Trump for, which is to make sure that we clean up the justice system in our country. We don't want, what is it? A two-tier justice system, or maybe even more tiers. Lord knows that we've watched the Biden administration, the Democrats, the deep state set up rules for people who think differently, where you get held to a different set of standards. A lot of people will point to those folks imprisoned after January 6th, right to a speedy trial. Why is that available for some and not available for all? Do you trust Kash Patel and Pam Bondi? I think that is a key question that you have to ask yourself right now about the future of where this administration takes rooting out the deep state. You might be in a position to say, there's no deep state. That's all just a conspiracy, ruse, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that's most of us. The question that we likely have to ask ourselves and would probably differ from time to time in, how big is the deep state? How broad is the deep state? How old is the deep state? How powerful is the deep state? Our poll for today is asking if you trust Trump's cabinet members, Kash Patel and Pam Bondi. We've got an attorney general and a director of the FBI who are going to be pivotal in making sure that when investigations commence and potentially charges, indictments come, that we are able to get convictions, that it's not something where you're throwing out accusations and then it's just kind of political warfare, court of public opinion. I don't want any of that. Do you? Do you want to see the hyper-politicized congressional hearings? They go to the Senate, they go to the House. It's ping pong. It's jarring to watch those questionings, those hearings take place because the Republicans, they say whatever is politically advantageous to them. They're proving a point, one that I likely agree with. And the Democrats, they just talk about how Trump is Hitler. That's what, it just goes back and forth that way. And then at the end, it's like, now what? I guess we just do another one of these things. I think we, as a country, have very much so identified the fact that there is a two-tier justice system. Democrats, people who are moderates, who saw what the Biden administration did to Donald Trump, what his Justice Department levied to Donald Trump, what the Justice Department did when they came and raided Mar-a-Lago. Everybody knows that the reason that was done is because they despise Donald Trump. They hate him. I believe that they fear him. And I am not 100% sure what there is to be afraid of other than his questioning of the necessity of a bureaucracy that is unelected in the democratic republic that we have. We're not a country that is governed by majority rule. That's not how we function in a constitutional republic. We have a constitution that oversees the rights that are given to us by God, enumerated in those documents. We can't be living in a country where that is for show. Every 2 years, 4 years, we have elections and we put new people in, but really everything kind of stays the same. Really, the important things, I've heard this so many times. You get to Washington, D.C., you're on fire. You are ready to change the direction of the country, to restore it, to improve it, to fundamentally transform it. Whatever your political lean is, you get to Washington, D.C., and you're new and you're fresh and you bring energy that just gets absolutely squashed when you come into your orientations, when you meet the people who actually make the decisions happen, all of the political games that take place. And it's so convoluted, man, isn't it? When you're trying to figure out, good example is the Democrats here just put out, it's called a PQ, I think. It's a vote on the previous question, which included an element that would expose or release whatever, the Epstein files. And the Democrats put this out. If the Republicans would have voted in favor of that, they would have ceded control of the House floor to the Democrats. And then the Democrats, with the control of the House floor, would have been able to do whatever they want. Nobody in their right mind does that. And you know what? The Democrats knew exactly what they were doing when they pushed this out there. They know that Republicans are not going to vote to give up control of the House. And so they attached the Epstein files on it to make sure that people like you and me who are not, nerd alert about all the procedural, the systematic things that go through the House of Representatives, all they have to say is every Republican voted against releasing the Epstein files. In a slice of context, that's true, but in the entire context of what took place, that's absolutely ridiculously false. They set these things up so they can use them as political points. And I guarantee if you've got political people of the other lane in your social media, and if you are from the other side and you're listening, and we're very happy to have you, you've probably heard that every Republican in the House voted against releasing the Epstein files. That is not what the vote was. It was a vote on the previous question, and the previous question would have given control to the Democrats, and no Republican sent there by a district of Republican choosing constituents is going to say in that opportunity, yeah, I really think that we do need to release these Epstein files. We'll give the Democrats control over this. That's not why I'm voting for Republicans to go to Congress. None of mine that I vote for ever win. But we're going to work on that, too. But in Missouri, if you're voting to send Jason Smith there, if you're voting to send Ann Wagner, all of the different Burleson, the people who we have on this show from time to time from Missouri, do you want the Epstein files released? Probably. You're probably really looking forward to that. Do you want your Republican representatives to vote in favor of giving the Democrats control of the House? Of course you don't. That's the minutia of how our Congress works. And you're not supposed to know those details. You're not supposed to lean into that. Will Republicans try to pull the same type of games when they're in the minority? Yep, they sure will. You need to know the full story. And then this happened to me multiple times. I was on Facebook. I saw people who are dear to me in my life who don't think the same way that I do. And they are posting on Facebook in between pictures of kids at their last baseball games of the season and vacation photos and, oh no, back to school posts, that type of stuff. Then there are people who are like, every Republican voted against releasing the Epstein files. And I'm sitting here in the privacy of my own phone going, that's not true. But I'm not telling my friends that on Facebook because that's not why I'm there. We have to be informed people. And we have to look towards our government, our elected government, to act responsibly on the purpose that we sent them there. And we sent Donald Trump as a country, as a majority. We sent Donald Trump to be the president of the United States because we entrusted his wisdom in all of the things that the executive office gets to appoint. And of those, Kash Patel being the director of the FBI, I felt like a lot of people were super pumped for that. When that nomination came through, people who were paying attention to the campaign and kind of know the players, they're like, this is going to get good. Pam Bondi, second nominee to Matt Gaetz. I don't think that out of the gate everybody was like, "Oh, Pam Bondi, this is going to be amazing." But she's done a lot of good in her time in office so far. Could she have done better? I feel like maybe yes, but what do I know? I don't know how to do her job. We're entitled as the supreme authority of this country and in partnership with the Constitution to hold the people who we elect accountable. And I think a lot of people right now are at least asking the question that we're asking on YouTube today. Can we still trust the people who have been appointed to do these very, very, very important jobs? The investigation portion of this administration has commenced in a big, bold way. James Comey, John Brennan, these folks are in deep trouble. The investigations have begun into them in a way that I think is going to materialize in some real important fact-finding. Is it going to result in criminal convictions that involve orange jumpsuits and solitary confinement and handcuffs? I have no idea. It seems like it rarely ever does. But the exposure of the deep state is a huge priority for this administration. And we want to know from you if you still trust FBI Director Kash Patel and Attorney General Pam Bondi to do the job. You can go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel and vote. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to ask Hans von Spakovsky about some of the developments that have taken place. There's a real clear investigation story on a little bit more into the Russia hoax. Can you believe it's 2025 and Donald Trump is the president in his second term and we're talking about the Russia hoax? Wow. Who knew that we would be here? I don't know. Maybe all of you did. Well, we'll have Hans on the Annie Fry Show next. Don't go away.
Hold you down and make you cry. Don't you know, things will change, things will go your way. You hold on for one more day. Can you hold?
Stuart's American Mortgage, he's got the bagel loan, and Stewie's the only one who has the bagel loan. If you are specifically looking for the bagel loan, which means $0 in closing costs, your new mortgage, your mortgage refinance, when done through a qualified bagel loan, you don't pay any closing costs at all. You can look right now and see that rates have come down a little bit. People are starting to lean into this a little bit more. If you've been thinking about moving, you want to make sure that that pre-approval is locked in so that you know what you're qualified to get. And when you work with Stuart's American Mortgage to secure that pre-approval and that loan, you can go onto his website once that pre-approval is done and generate your own pre-approval letter so that when you decide it's time to make an offer, you are ready to go. No middleman that you have to wait on. When you go to close that loan and get the keys, you don't pay any closing costs. It's pretty amazing, and it's for real. I've done it twice myself in a refinance. Call or text Stewie directly at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan and MLS number 226-715.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for Generator Supercenter of St. Louis, and you know your home is your sanctuary. You need to take the first step to peace of mind with a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from the #1 Generac generator dealer in the country, Generator Supercenter. We learned the hard way here in St. Louis during the tornado recently that power can be knocked out. But even outside of that, what if the power grid fails and it's 100 degrees here in St. Louis? You don't want to be that person. Get with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis today. Generator Supercenter of St. Louis.com. Tell them that we sent you along.
The heat's really been extreme last week or so. I have a wife that's going through change of life, and she woke me up 3 a.m. and said there's something wrong with the air conditioner. I checked the thermostat, and it's set at 66, and it is saying 66. Like we set it every single night. I said, okay, how do you feel? She said, okay, well, as long as it's 66. And then within 2 minutes, all the covers are back on her, and she says she is freezing. I said, honey, the air conditioner isn't broke. Your thermostat is broke. So if you're living that way, my advice is this. I'm not the brightest bulb in the box, but here's what I do. I keep my laughter inside. It is real what they're feeling. You don't need to call me. You can say you called me, but you don't need to call me. Save your money. This is Bart Inman. One easy number in Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. God bless.
Speeding while driving gives you less time to react. Another car could turn out in front of you. A pedestrian could be walking their dog. Follow the speed limit to keep them safe. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
Live, local, and conservative. It's the Annie Fry Show. 97.1 FM Talk.
President Trump. James Comey and John Brennan now under criminal investigation related to the Trump-Russia probe. Do you want to see these two guys behind bars?
Well, I know nothing about it other than what I read today, but I will tell you, I think they're very dishonest people. I think they're crooked as hell, and maybe they have to pay a price for that. I believe they are truly bad people and dishonest people. So whatever happens, happens.
He says he knows nothing about it. That almost seems kind of like legalese, like, I can't dip my toe in what's going on over there. It has to happen autonomously of the president. When you listen to President Trump talk about Comey and Brennan, I have to imagine that the disgust he has for those people is immeasurable. Let's get to our guest, Hans von Spakovsky, coming up here. Let's talk to our senior legal fellow from the Heritage Foundation, the former FEC commissioner as well. Hans, welcome back. There's so much going on. I could do a whole show with you if you had the time.
Well, that is very true. And you know, what is happening right now is all this classified information is starting to be declassified, including stuff from John Durham's investigation, which basically outlines and exposes what we've all assumed to be the case now for a number of years, which was it wasn't just that the Russia-Trump collusion claim was a hoax, but that the FBI and the Office of the Director of National Intelligence under John Brennan, they weren't actually trying to investigate whether that was true. They knew it was a hoax. They knew it came from the Clinton campaign. They were using federal law enforcement, federal intelligence sources to push this hoax, to do it intentionally to try to damage the Trump presidency. I mean, that's what all of these documents coming out. That's the bottom line with all of them.
So we're speaking with Hans von Spakovsky right now, a legal expert, and I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to speak with you about this particular issue because, Hans, you and I have been talking about this issue for as long as we've been talking to each other. The Russia hoax has been a part of the fabric of the last decade in varying degrees, and you have been spot on, I'm going to say it, 100% of the time. So I think it's important to catch people up who might be a little bit newer to the political game. Just in simple terms, the Russia hoax was this idea that President Trump was working with Russia to steal the election. Is that a good way to sum it up? In 2016, I might add.
Yes, that's it exactly. And it all came from, the only source for this was what was called the Steele dossier. That was a dossier created by someone working for who? The Hillary Clinton campaign. And it was basically it could have made the fictional bestseller list for the New York Times because it was totally made up. And yet this Steele dossier was what was given to the FBI and others that they used to justify not only opening an investigation, but getting a secret eavesdropping warrant on folks in the Trump campaign. And let's not forget that just a couple of years ago, the Hillary Clinton campaign and the DNC, which also helped pay for it, they had to pay a fine to who? The Federal Election Commission, where I was formerly a commissioner, because they tried to hide the fact that they had paid for this in the campaign finance reports that they had officially filed with the FEC. So they not only created this false report, they then tried to hide it. And James Comey and others, they knew it was opposition research. They knew it was a hoax, but they used it, like I said, to justify going after the Trump campaign and then the Trump presidency.
And do we know that the intent, we certainly remember the Peter Strzok's and Lisa Pages of the world talking about how they would not allow Donald Trump to become the president. Right. Do we know that the Comeys and Brennans, you're talking about this dossier, which is a bunch of bologna sausage, that was used not to investigate why would somebody make this up? Why would somebody want to fabricate some sort of fake story to try to throw an election? We should get to the bottom of this. They go, well, this is a bunch of this is a bunch of BS here, but we don't have to say that. We can use this BS to go tap the Donald Trump campaign and listen in on the things that he's doing. So when all of this stuff comes together, do we know, does Comey ever admit what he was doing, or was he just smart about it and attached to it? Was Brennan ever public in communication or anything that they were trying to stop Donald Trump?
There's some indications of that in the internal emails, but publicly they have denied completely that they did anything wrong. And by the way, you know, part of what apparently they want to declassify, and this is something that was attached to the Inspector General's review of the FBI's probe. Remember Clinton's unsecured email server? You know, the one she set up in her house,
yes,
through which she was running all her official communications. Well, sources say that this classified information details how foreign actors, in other words, foreign intelligence agents, got access to classified material because they got access to her email, but yet the FBI didn't investigate that security breach. Instead, they were more interested in how did these foreign actors get into the Hillary campaign. And Peter Strzok, who you mentioned, you know, he was exchanging emails with his lover, who was another FBI employee, saying, "Ew, we can't do anything that might upset Hillary Clinton because she's going to be president." So they deliberately ignored the security breaches that Hillary Clinton engineered.
Hans von Spakovsky speaking with us right now, legal expert with Heritage Foundation. So this is all stuff we've discussed before. It's kind of catching everybody up on where we are right now. I'm holding in my hand a report from Real Clear Investigations. Exclusive secret meeting opens document floodgates on Trump-Russia hoax. My question to you is, all of this is old news. It seems like we've, had the Durham report. We've gone through the assessment of what happened. Why are we talking about this in 2025?
Well, because even with the Durham report, and they mentioned this in the Real Clear Investigations, there's a lot of documents that were classified and have never been released. And for folks who say, oh, this is old news, you don't need to know about it, here's what they need to realize. I cannot think of a greater danger and greater corruption than the misuse of the FBI and our intelligence agencies for political purposes to target a political opponent. Look, I worked at the Justice Department. People need to understand the Justice Department, the FBI, they are the most powerful law enforcement agencies in this country. They can destroy you as a human being. They can destroy your personal life, your professional life, and we have to ensure that everyone and anyone who is involved in abusing their positions inside either the FBI, the Justice Department, or these intelligence agencies for political purposes, they have got to be exposed. And even if it's too late for them to be criminally prosecuted because the statute of limitations has run, they need to be exposed publicly so they can be fired, terminated, and we can ensure that they never, ever hold a position of public trust in the government again.
Amen. Amen to all of that. I'm looking forward to seeing where this investigation goes. And I know there are a lot of people who are going to be like, that's old news, but we do need to know, we need to expose everything that has to do with what they tried to do to Donald Trump and probably continue to try to do even up to this day. Before we let you go, Hans von Spakovsky with us, I did want to ask you a little bit about the Epstein. That's been a head story for this week. President Trump kind of strangely coming out and being like, it's a nothing burger and stop talking about it. And everyone's like, we're not going to stop talking about it. There is talk about a special counsel that could take over this case. And I think that when people hear that, it's unclear for a lot of non-legal minds to understand, well, what does that even mean? How could a special counsel be put in charge of this, and what would that mean for the Epstein story to continue to be investigated?
A special counsel is when the Attorney General of the United States takes someone who is a current lawyer at the Justice Department, usually a U.S. attorney, in a particular state, and and assigns them the special task of investigating a particular incident. And while that special counsel, U.S. attorney, still reports to the AG, usually the AG says, look, I'm going to keep my hands off of this to avoid any questions of potential political bias or political influence. And you investigate this almost like you're independent. But ultimately, it is once that special counsel does their job, they report to the Attorney General, and the Attorney General decides, one, whether their report should be publicly released, and two, if the special counsel makes a recommendation for criminal prosecution, whether that will be carried out. I'm just not sure whether that's needed in this instance, because I'm not quite sure what documents are there still that haven't been released, and are there really lists that everybody thinks exist that may not exist? Because I think I'm probably as confused as a lot of other people are about what exactly is going on with this
If
case.
Hans is confused, we're screwed. I need you to understand these things. Real quick before we let you go, though, on the Epstein case, there's something that the president keeps saying. I got two questions about the president and his role right now in talking about this story. The first thing is there a legal benefit for the president in his capacity as the president of the United States to distance himself from anything that has to do with investigations that might be going on? Is his telling people to not talk about it anymore and to move on? Is there a legal reason why he would want to separate himself from the investigation that could be still taking place?
Yeah, because it avoids anybody saying, oh, a particular investigation was stopped or started for political reasons. If the president says, look, I'm divorcing myself from this and I'm not going to have anything to do with it, it's going to be up to the Attorney General, the Justice Department to decide what to do. So that's the advantage of that. We will recall, however, that in the cases we were just talking about, Barack Obama kept saying he had nothing to do with any of this, across a hurricane, et cetera. But we now know that he had secret meetings. He and Joe Biden had secret meetings with Comey and others in the White House about it.
So then to kind of wrap this whole segment up together, if you have Comey and Brennan, who are corrupt individuals, and we can have evidence that suggests that already, along with the Peter Strzok's and the Lisa Pages of the world, people who are part of the deep state, who are willing to fabricate information that they can then use, knowing that it's fabricated, to spy on American citizens. If all of that is in existence, and these are just the people that we know about, is it reasonable to think that the Epstein files, whatever that boogeyman in the closet is, whatever the Epstein files are, is it reasonable to question whether or not people who have had access to those files could have corrupted those files in their possession within the deep state's knowledge, but a very limited amount of people, so that when the president continues to repeat the word, we've released credible documents, that there's an implication that maybe some of that information has been tampered with?
I don't know the answer to that, because I don't know who had possession of those files before this president came into office. And it's important for everybody to remember that, look, Pam Bondi, Donald Trump, they've only been in office for a couple of months. So for all these past decade, who has had these files? Well, it was the Biden administration that had access to it. Before that, it was Obama. Trump for a little while, but it's really the Biden administration that had access to this. So I have no idea what happened to those files during the time the Biden administration was in office.
Well, I hope that we continue to find out more information about this. Hope the president doesn't get at least what he's saying publicly his way, because I think a lot of us are not done with the story as much as he's saying that he would like us to be done with it. We appreciate you, Hans. Thanks for being here. We look forward to having you back.
Sure thing. Take care.
You as well. Bye-bye. Hans von Spakovsky is a senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation, a former FEC commissioner, and a DOJ lawyer. His latest book, he hosts a Case in Point, the legal show for regular people, which is really what we try to glean out of him here. And his book, Our Broken Elections, How the Left Changed the Way You Vote, is a must-read. We'll take a quick break. Ethan's going to come join us here in just a minute. He's got Wiggins America coming up for us as well. And his subject for today is effective ways to improve work performance. I wonder if this was given to him by Ryan as well. We'll have to ask him. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Start right now.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-770-0850. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance to buy $1 million of affordable term life for you. All you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-770-0850. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-770-0850. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-770-0850. 800-770-0850.
Mark Cox here. Let me introduce you to my friends at the Lit Cigar Lounge in St. Louis, where luxury meets comfort. Premium hand-rolled cigars, an extensive selection of rare bourbons and whiskeys and craft cocktails. It's comfortable for non-smokers, too. They have a state-of-the-art ventilation system. They have private lockers and live music every Friday night, perfect for date nights or business meetings or just winding down. Visit litstl.com.
Built in the heartland, for the heartland. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
This crazy thing happened in my house. It was the wildest thing ever. I was home by myself for like 60 minutes.
How, did you even know what to do with yourself?
No. And I got 30 minutes in. I'm like, I kind of miss people. And I was like, slap myself across the face and be like, snap out of it and enjoy it right now. Sorry.
Get yourself together.
There are times when I'm sitting in my house and the noise level, I'm about ready to snap, and I just think that any person who doesn't live in that existence, or maybe it's been a long time since you had kids in your house, if you came in, you'd be like, how do you do this? There's people, when you got 4 kids spanning age ranges of 15, almost 13 in a week, 9 and 4, they're all in different life phases, so they're all reacting to things at different emotional maturity levels. I don't know. Jensen and Charlie are probably about the same maturity level, but that's just teenage, middle school girls and high school boys. But people are fighting and they're chasing each other, and we're trying to scare each other, and we're laughing and we're yelling. There are times where Jared and I will just look at each other across the house and be like, I don't know if we can do this much longer. Kids, go play outside.
I bet the silence was deafening last night.
It was. I found myself, I watched 2 things last night on television that I can't believe. I was
I was shocked myself in my home by myself with just the 2 dogs. I watched some of the ESPYs, and I watched the Liberty Fever game. And Caitlin Clark is out with an injury. She wasn't even in.
And you still watched it?
Yes.
But
Liberty.
why?
I like basketball. I don't watch the NBA. I'm uninterested in that. I would rather watch the WNBA than the NBA.
Any WNBA game or a Caitlin Clark specific game? Or an Indiana Fever game?
Yep.
Okay.
Any, but especially Caitlin Clark. Apparently, she just withdrew from the All-Star weekend. She's got a grant. You guys don't care about that. The point is, the Liberty. I think the Liberty ended up beating the Fever without Caitlin Clark, like 98-75 or something like that.
The Fever won or they lost?
They lost.
Okay.
Without Caitlin Clark, would they have won with her? Maybe. I don't know.
Isn't the Liberty like the best team in the league though?
I think I remember I looked and their record was like 16-5. So they're good.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
But they were hitting threes from all over the place. And I thought, well, this is kind of interesting because you would think that if Caitlin Clark's out of the game that it's just a bunch of missed layups.
Right.
Which is what I'm used to. But so I watched it and I was actually entertained by it. But I feel like from an entertainment standpoint for people who've been exposed to the WNBA now because of Caitlin Clark, that there is a little bit of interest in the game for what it is. When you watched Iowa in the championship game against South Carolina, was it? The girls' NCAA championship, that like quadrupled or something the amount of people who watched the men's game. UConn was in the championship for the men and somebody else, maybe. I don't even remember.
Purdue. Yeah, because that's the year I had my great bracket.
Second place in like the country.
On Yahoo's bracket.
Yeah, it's crazy in my son's bracket challenge. What Caitlin Clark, the light that Caitlin Clark has shined onto the WNBA has benefited the league. And it's just amazing how much hate she still continues to get. I think the WNBA loves it. I think Caitlin Clark loves it. I don't think that when Sophie Cunningham, a lot of you who don't watch the WNBA but maybe on Twitter or X or whatever, you probably saw the clip where Caitlin Clark, like a pinball, gets bounced off of these girls. Some girl smacks her in the face and pokes her in the eye, and she jumps. She's carrying the ball. She jumps back and she holds her eye. Another girl comes and bumps into her while she's got her eyes closed, and then another girl comes in and trucks her over and knocks her over. The next play down the court or whatever, Sophie Cunningham, which, folks, she is stunningly beautiful.
She's my WNBA crush.
Correct?
Oh, my gosh.
Boys, Ethan, you can't just nod your head in affirmation.
Ring that bell, Ethan.
With that face. His face is saying,
The bell has been rang.
She's runway model beautiful.
And a Mizzou product.
Correct. She's tough as nails. Caitlin Clark gets trucked, and then you have Sophie Cunningham the next time they get a breakaway. She's like, I'm putting this girl in the ground. I'm putting her in the floor. And she did it, and then she stood over like, you going to do that again? and everybody's like, I'm reading the comments on social media, and people are like, if this keeps happening, I'm going to have to start watching the WNBA. People can't believe that this is what's happening in the WNBA. And I am here to say, as somebody who played basketball, and yes, always girls basketball, through my senior year of high school, I was a power forward and drastically undersized in my position at 5'8", and who has helped coach girls basketball for years now at the junior high level. People cannot believe how rough and mean these WNBA games are. Folks, this is how girls play basketball. It is super physical. And if you're comparing, I'm not asking a single person listening right now to like, oh no, trust me, go watch the WNBA. I am stepping in for a minute to say that what it has to offer cannot be compared to the NBA. It is like baseball to softball. It's a different sport. When I have been forced to watch any minutes of the NBA, I am so disinterested in watching 7 people run halfway down the floor in between the three-point line to just throw up threes over and over and over again. That's not interesting for me to watch. Maybe it is for NBA fans. But the style of basketball in the NBA is not even the style of basketball that I used to love to watch in the 90s, growing up a Bulls girl. Transfer over to the WNBA, and they're not doing what the NBA is doing. Although, if you just want to talk about shooting and hitting threes, I would venture to say that at least the Caitlin Clarks of the world, and there is only one, are doing something that is entertainment worthy on the WNBA court. But folks, when you watch and you see how mean these girls are, I've got one piece of advice for any officials that are out there right now who have ever stepped foot on a basketball floor that girls are playing on. I have conversations with officials all the time. I try to get to know them ahead of time, try to be on the same page with them, appreciate them for coming out, because I've done volleyball officiating. My husband has in the past. He hasn't since Charlie's been playing baseball. He's done softball as well. There is no amount of money that you could pay me to ref a basketball game.
Ooh, no way.
Everybody, you are the dumbest person that everybody has met. From the second they walk in and see you in stripes, they're like, I hate that person.
Yeah.
And then they yell at you from the stands, the coaches, and then the kids see that the coaches and the fans are yelling, and then the kids are like, nope, not doing it. Officials for girls' basketball games, and the good officials know this. This is kind of like teachers. Good teachers cannot stand bad teachers. Mm-hmm. Good cops cannot stand bad cops. Good officials cannot stand bad officials. The amount of times over the course of decades of being in girls' basketball that I've had conversations with officials and been like, talking about, yeah, it gets pretty physical out there. They'll say things like, girls. If you go onto a basketball floor and referee them like they're girls and not athletes, this is what you get in the WNBA. You get a bunch of people who are, the word is thugs, and that is a multiracial participation, Sophie Cunningham being the example I'm using at the top of this. These girls, they're hard. They are battle-tested. And the WNBA is, I actually think for the first time ever that if the WNBA does, honestly, the smart thing and throws a little bit of WWE into the WNBA and lets these girls, you're signing there's a risk with working in the WNBA. If they continue to foster this, people are going to start watching. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to be because of the basketball. It's going to be because of the stuff that happens in between the whistles.
Kind of related, kind of not. Sophie Cunningham the last few days has been popping up on my my people you may know on Facebook.
Uh-huh. You got some Mizzou connections that are like,
I got a couple, and I haven't done it. I don't know Sophie Cunningham, but I'm like,
give me your
so
phone, I'll do it for you right now.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, you can totally be like, oh no, that wasn't me.
Annie did it.
That was Annie, and she's a huge fan. Add friend. Done.
Literally, she's just been popping up the last few days.
You got 4 mutuals.
Yeah, I
Look
do
at
have
how pretty she is, folks. Where's the camera? Oh, she's so pretty. And she's my kind of girl. Every basketball coach wants a Sophie Cunningham.
We're sending up lobs.
Yes, we want Caitlin Clark. Give me one of those, but give me a Sophie Cunningham, because Sophie Cunningham is going to make Caitlin Clark more open.
Please accept my friend request. Sophie Cunningham.
I think she listens to the show. I don't. Wiggins America next. Don't go away. Home Shield Foundation Repairs with an S.com. That's the website. You can go skip everything that I'm about to say to you and just do the research yourself for concrete leveling. They can take the concrete that you have right now that is uneven. You trip over it all the time. It drives you crazy, but it's getting worse. Maybe the shift in the ground underneath is causing it to be a bigger problem. Some people have this problem in their garages. You don't really know, depending on the kind of foundation that was laid in your garage, how bad that can get. If you have that uneven shifting concrete in your garage, you need to call Home Shield Foundation Repair right away, because you do not want that to collapse in. I was listening to Matt Hayes tell a story about how this happened. And that was a much bigger problem because it wasn't solved immediately. It's a cost-effective way to solve this concrete leveling concern that you have. They use polyjacking, a polyurethane foam that injects under the concrete, raises it up, evens it out, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. And you don't have to commit to anything until they come out and say, here's how we can solve your problem. They're ready to do business with you. Just give them a call at 314-227-9636, HomeShieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Mark Reardon isn't here to echo talking points. He challenges them. Smart, fast, and always original. The Mark Reardon Show. Weekdays at 3 on 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Fry, and Mark Reardon, along with Bob and Tammy Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Tuesday, August 5th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Here are Bob and Tammy with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired? Do you have your personalized income plan in place? Would you like to learn why linking to the market is much safer than owning the market? And how in 39 years we have never lost a penny of our clients' money?
Would you like to learn how to automatically lock in your market gains every year without having to sell? Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any future losses? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you cannot afford to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg and join the official financial advisors of my show, Bob and Tammy Kershaw, at the Frontenac Hilton, Tuesday, August 5th at 6:30. Go to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
The YouTube live chat poll. Do you still trust Kash Patel or Pam Bondi? We have a couple of different options here, a couple of yes options. You either trust the FBI, you trust the Attorney General, or you trust both. You could also trust neither. Those are the options for today's YouTube live chat poll. Be sure to go and vote on the Annie Fry Show YouTube channel, and we'll be sharing those results at the end of the show. The time is 12:51. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Now, back to the Annie Fry Show. Real talk for real people. 97.1 FM Talk. Not Wiggins America, Ethan's America. Ethan's America.
It's so sad.
The only reason
Ryan, just Ethan.
The only reason I haven't walked out and protest yet is because I think it would probably have more of an effect on you and Brad than it would on Ryan.
It would only have an effect on me, and it would please Ryan.
It'd be exactly what he wanted.
So I think that as he's creating this was kind of what his thought was. Like he's trying to completely sabotage.
Yeah, he's the topic of conversation every time.
He wants to make sure that when he's gone, his presence is missed.
Do you know what the disappointed is from?
No.
I don't either.
Yep.
What?
It's from Hercules. That's Kevin Sorbo. There's a scene in Hercules where...
Wait, really?
No, the Hercules, the Legendary Journeys or whatever.
Yeah.
Whenever the live action one, there's a point where he just looks up. It was a meme. Disappointed! And then people would use that as a meme whenever they were upset with
Thanks,
something.
Ryan. What do you got for today?
Ways to improve your work performance. Honestly, this is the show that Ryan needs to be here for.
We'll just tell him to podcast the show.
Yeah, we'll make sure that we get this clipped and sent to him because this is going to be important. Maybe we could quiz him tomorrow.
I think
for Weekend
that
America.
When he comes back, I don't know if he's going to have some grievances to air, but I have shared with him some of our YouTube shorts, specifically the one that we talked about when we discussed bumper peeing, and you had your mind blown. Yes, exactly. That one ends with a little bit of a Ryan dig, and I sent it to him. And I'm like, I just wanted to let you know that we did this so that while you're gone, I hope you still think this is funny. We miss you. He said he did.
Debatable. Okay. Way number 1 to improve work performance. Quit multitasking and start focusing.
Focus.
Annie, I know you are a big hater.
Right now.
You don't like multitasking. You don't like when people multitask, though, do you?
I like when people... You have to prioritize tasks. I actually function better as a multitasker. I do 2 or 3 things better. Because otherwise, if I'm doing one thing, I daydream. my brain goes to multitasking. But if you can multitask, then don't. Lock in, get it done, move to the next thing.
According to statistics, doesn't say which ones, multitasking reduces productivity by 40%. 40%! That number kind of blew my mind. It is important to prioritize tasks and avoid wasting time trying to complete all tasks at once. Doing so may cause the quality of work to be reduced. Multitasking often causes you to continuously redirect your attention from one task to another and in between short attention spans.
What else you got?
Reason number 2, limit distractions. It is important to reduce or eliminate any distractions that can distract you from finishing tasks on time. A few actionable tips that it gives in order to avoid getting distracted, turn your phone off or put it on Do Not Disturb.
That's like where all my work is.
That's the problem, right?
I would have nothing to do.
Do you find, though, that when you're on your phone, it leads to, even this one leaking into the other one, to multitasking, right? Because you're doing one thing, trying to do work, and then all of a sudden you get a buzz or a notification.
I've checked Twitter to see if like the news is going bonkers or anything like that on my phone, and I will immediately close the app to open Twitter to check and see if anything is going on and realize I just did that. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, whenever I do that, I'm like, ooh, I have a problem. I need to correct this.
Work from a quiet space. If you're working from home, establish a workspace dedicated to only working. That would be a huge issue for me. And then use a time tracking tool, it says, to keep track of the time taken to complete the tasks.
Nah, I'd forget to check it.
You don't sound very set on improving your work performance, Annie.
I'm always interested in improving my work performance. But I have to multitask. A lot of people are saying that too. Like, that's the only way I get stuff done.
Yeah.
Fox Business reporter Gerri Willis next. Don't go away.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
Many of you know that my inspiration for becoming an accident attorney was my brother Tim, who was rendered a quadriplegic at age 18. I didn't know what a personal injury lawyer was or what they did, but I soon did. Tim was treated terribly by the insurance company, and I became enraged. It was a constant delay and deny. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Tim later worked with me for 27 years. Last year, my hero died at age 65. You can see my eulogy for him by visiting mybrothertim.com. He was one hell of a man. Because of Tim, together we built the largest injury firm in the world, and our clients are treated the way I would want my family to be treated. At Morgan & Morgan, nobody is a nobody and everybody is a somebody. If you need our help, visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer. See you soon, Tim. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
What's your favorite four-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our four-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar, and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
0.1%. I'm Therese Crowley, Fox News. A tiny start to cutting federal spending, but it's a lot of PBS and foreign aid. The Senate vote to claw back $9 billion in federal funding targeted as waste by DOJ on a 51-48 vote.
It happened in the wee hours of the overnight. After a 12-hour vote-a-rama, the Senate passed the package. 51-48. 2 Republicans voted no, moderate Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski. Collins had problems with the package, saying that nobody really knows what program reductions are actually in it. Murkowski apparently just didn't like the process, going from a reconciliation bill to a rescissions package. The bill takes back $9 billion in foreign aid and public broadcasting money that's already appropriated by Congress. That includes cuts to NPR and PBS. However, it is a bit smaller than originally put together.
Fox's Aisha Hasni. Now back to the House for a final vote. And on this crypto week in Congress, the House advanced a trio of cryptocurrency regulations bills last night by a 5-vote margin. With further votes today, the Genius Act to establish stablecoin regulations already passed the Senate. Nationwide protests being planned against President Trump's immigration enforcement and Medicaid reforms, what organizers are calling good trouble. Fox's Ryan Schmelz.
Protests are planned at more than 1,600 locations around the country as part of the Good Trouble Lives On National Day of Action, honoring the late Congressman and civil rights leader John Lewis. Organizers are targeting the Trump administration's immigration policies and recent changes to Medicaid in the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Republicans have argued the immigration policies are a winning issue, supported by most Americans, while arguing the Medicaid reforms will strengthen the program and save the U.S. significant amounts of money.
The founder of Crowds on Demand tells Fox he was offered $20 million to recruit protesters. America's listening to Fox News.
At LendSeek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply today with no cost or obligation at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-785-1155. That's 800-785-1155.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Scattered thunderstorms going through the afternoon, some with very heavy downpours of rain and intense lightning, 72. Overall, it's not a widespread severe weather outbreak, but there will be a couple of strong storms. Friday, partly sunny. It's cooler, but still the chance of a pop storm. 85 on Friday, then all about summer this weekend and all of next week. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show Live, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsLHonorFlight.org. And for HVAC services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Here's how the accounts work. For every U.S. citizen born after December 31st, 2024, before January 1st, 2029, the federal government will make a one-time contribution of $1,000 into a tax-deferred account that will track the overall stock market. In other words, it'll be pegged to an index that we'll pick. Right, Michael? We'll pick it. We'll pick a good one. Maybe you should be the index. I'd like to have that. These kids would be very wealthy if that were the case.
President Trump speaking about part of this big, beautiful bill, I believe. This idea of Trump accounts. I can't believe he named it after himself. That's really shocking to me. What are these Trump accounts? We've heard about his discussion with trying to help families and newborns. How does this work? Well, let's speak to Gerri Willis, Fox Business reporter and author of Lincoln's Lady Spy Master, GerriWillis.com. Gerri, thank you for being with us here today. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, let's talk about these Trump accounts. Dive in. So the idea is that the government, the federal government, is going to seed accounts with $1,000 for babies that are born between now and the end of 2028. So the idea is that the money will grow over time until they're 17, put into probably some kind of index fund, S&P 500, maybe a Wilshire 5,000. Money will grow over time. Mom and dad can add up to $5,000 a year. Even employers of your mom and dad can add in $2,500. So ultimately, if you fully fund this thing, it could be worth $200,000 when you get ready to go to college. Now, what I think is interesting about this, and a lot of people don't talk about it, you don't have to just use it for college. You could use it to start a business. You could use it to put a down payment on a first-time home. So really interesting program. I think a lot of people are going to like it. And there's another benefit that nobody talks about. People are actually going to learn about how to invest money with these accounts.
Oh, that financial literacy is something that I've heard Secretary Bessent talk about. There's so many things that go into making really smart economic decisions. The earlier in life, the better. This seems like, to your point, that this could be an avenue to bring people, pull people in and realize how much time becomes valuable when it comes to investing.
So well put. And, look, why do you want to start early? Because if you make mistakes, it doesn't matter, right? So this gives you an opportunity to see how the markets work, how stocks work, how over time, if you give it enough time, and that's exactly what you just said, you can actually see your wealth expand. And that's going to educate people more broadly about capitalism, the markets, how even individuals can access these. Look, you don't have to be some wealthy person to access the stock market. Everybody can do it. It's highly democratic.
I'm reading here a comment from one of our listeners or viewers right now. It says, from Doug, he says, Annie, please ask why parents would choose these rather than 529s. It sounds to me like it's not really even a choice. It's going to be started one way or the other, but maybe where those investment dollars come after the fact, do you grow this account versus another? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, take the $1,000 and run. That's what I say. I mean, you can't access the money until the child is 18. But I say, you might as well put some money away. The money grows tax-free until the child is 17. It's then taxed, I believe, at an income tax rate. That's what we're seeing right now. But why not do both? Because I know parents are just really trying here to make the way for their kids and seed money for their education. Look, we just did a special on financial literacy, and the most interesting thing I found is that Americans are trying so hard to expand their horizons when it comes to investments, to learn how to manage their financial lives. 85% of folks are looking for financial education right now.
100%. We're speaking with Gerri Willis, Fox Business reporter, author of Lincoln's Lady Spy Master as well. Gerri, I'm thinking about the big problem. It seems like we have the Republicans and Democrats alike can't figure out how to solve this problem in Congress quite yet, not in a way that they're willing to put their name in a vote next to, but entitlements or I guess people question whether they'd be called that anyway, Social Security, the types of benefits that people pay into in their working years, but when they draw from it, it's from the people who are paying into it. It's not connected to them individually. Is this the start of something that could maybe subsidize something earlier in life with time to grow, connected to the market that could compensate for, I'm 40. In my future, do I hope Social Security is there? Yes. Am I counting on it? I'm kind of worried about it. How does this affect how we can prepare ourselves for life to maybe keep us, A, from going out of debt, or just giving us a better start in life so we can invest more in our futures?
I think it's really about getting a better start. But if you don't open up that package at 18, it turns into a conventional IRA, and you can grow it from there. So that's the answer to the question. Of course, you know, if you got a 401k, I encourage you to use that because you get some free money there as well. Look, take it from me. It's all about scoring on the free money. If the federal government is going to give your child $1,000, be sure to take it.
Right. Is it possible to opt out? I mean, I don't know why in the world anybody would do that, but are you beholden to anything by benefiting from this package?
No. You know, what's interesting about this is that there are no income limits. Every child born gets this. Now, you have to be a U.S. citizen. Both the parent and the child have to have Social Security numbers. That just makes sense because they're going to open an account in your name. But at the end of the day, I think this is great news for families and great news for a generation of kids who could grow up to be financially savvy in a way that they otherwise may not. You know, I mentioned the special that we did. It was fascinating to me to find out that more and more young Americans are getting their financial information from YouTube, from TikTok. They're looking for fresh answers. They're looking for fresh investments. And the rate of entrepreneurialism, is through the roof. We have 433,000 folks every month opening a new business. So people are looking for answers. They're looking for answers in new ways. It's just really exciting to see what's going on.
It's that special that you did. It's called Course Correction: Next Generational Financial Freedom. Is that correct? Is there somewhere people can go find that on Fox Nation or something like that where it's accessible?
It's all over my social media, I'll tell you that. But you'll find it on Fox Business. Go on Fox Business. We're going to be re-airing it on Saturday morning, I believe at 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. It's really worthwhile. I'm so pleased about how this came out. We talked to people who I think our viewers are going to love. Senator Tim Scott talks to us about the legislation he's put through to help educate people. We have entrepreneurs talking about their own experience. And I think that it's those people that Americans most like to learn from, people who have done it, managed to make it, get ahead. Those are the voices of experience that we so love to tap.
Oh, certainly. Check it out on Fox Business. I'm going to encourage people to follow you on X as well, Gerri Willis, FBN, so that they can access it maybe sooner in that regard. The last question I have regarding these Trump accounts for these newborns, I assume they're tied to the child no matter what. So it's not something where you could have potentially parents or some other guardians or whatever able to access these funds, that it would have to be accessible by the child when they turn 18 and then they're in charge of it. Yes,
that's the way that works. It's really for them. It's not for mom and dad. So mom and dad, if you thought you're going to get your hands on a little cool $1,000, ain't going to happen. This is for your son or your daughter and for them to use as they get older, how they see fit.
Oh, well, I think it's great. And I really appreciate you bringing this to our attention as well, because there is so much that came out of the last 6.5 months or so. But these are the types of things that people need to see that are being done for them, and they need to understand that it's coming. We're grateful for your information. Thank you, Gerri, for being here with us today.
Thank you. Pleasure. Nice to meet you.
Nice
Bye.
to meet you as well. Bye-bye. Definitely. Gerri Willis, you recognize her, I'm sure. If you manage to be following us on the YouTube live stream, you see her picture there, but I've seen her many times on Fox Business reporter. Check out that Course Correction: Next Gen Financial Freedom. Financial literacy is a big deal, and it's something that Scott Bessent was highlighting. Like, he's actually working with people to make sure financial literacy is something that comes along with, like, whatever high-level things the Secretary of the Treasury is doing. I think it was yesterday possibly that it was getting tossed around that maybe he would be a good consideration to be the Fed chair when Jerome Powell makes the decision to go do, I don't know, golfing or something else. To have such a high-level mind about these things, but also understand the value of providing financial literacy or education around how to get ahead from the start. Very, very smart. very important to implement when you're trying to do things like this. The Trump accounts that will give $1,000 for newborns. Very cool. Good to have Gerri Willis here. All right, let's take a break. Governor Mike Kehoe is going to be with us in about 15 minutes, and there have been a lot of things surfacing in the state of Missouri that we want to talk about. I am going to ask him about the cell phone bill. So the student cell phone ban that the governor signed into law, what is he trying to accomplish when it comes to removing the access to those phones with students in Missouri? And also Missouri is partnering to support Texas in the flood recovery. We certainly know something about floods here in St. Louis and in Missouri. They've stepped up, and Missouri is helping Texas recover from such a tragedy. All right, let's take a quick break. Go vote in the YouTube live chat poll. Let me know if you still trust Cash Patel and Pam Bondi. We'll be right back.
As they grow restless, longing for some solitary company.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon with news for listeners who, like me, want to learn more about Bitcoin. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club is coming to St. Louis later this summer. The Bitcoin Ben Crypto Clubs teach members what Bitcoin is, how to buy it, how to safely store it, and how to avoid scams. And we'll connect with others like us who want to learn more about crypto. St. Louis will be the 7th club nationwide and Ben's hometown. If you want to know more about Bitcoin, you need to know Bitcoin Ben. Learn more at bitcoinben.io. That's bitcoinben.io.
Mark Cox here. Let me introduce you to my friends at the Lit Cigar Lounge in St. Louis, where luxury meets comfort. Premium hand-rolled cigars, an extensive selection of rare bourbons and whiskeys and craft cocktails. It's comfortable for non-smokers, too. They have a state-of-the-art ventilation system. They have private lockers and live music every Friday night, perfect for date nights or business meetings or just winding down. Visit litstl.com.
It's hot. So is it better to set my thermostat at 70, 65, 75, 80? Here's my advice to you. Set the thermostat exactly where you're more comfortable. The difference I would spend from 75 to 80, are you ready for your savings? Now remember, this is for 3 months. In my opinion, you could save $10 to $15 a month. Or I can say, I'm still uncomfortable, so lower it, 70 degrees. So now you're spending $10 to $20 more a month for 3 months. So let's just say to 20. Let's just get crazy and think that it's going to cost you $20 more a month for your comfort. That's $60 in 3 months. Do you have an extra $60? With that being said, if your system is not cooling, then call me, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. God bless.
Speeding while driving gives you less time to react. Another car could turn out in front of you. A pedestrian could be walking their dog. Follow the speed limit to keep them safe. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
Family focused, faith filled, always on point. It's the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Just got done speaking with Gerri Willis about the Trump accounts. $1,000. You have a baby between what was it? The end of this year and 2028. 1,000 bones right there in the old account for the newborn.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Does that change things?
Interesting.
Not for me.
I see what you did there.
Not for me.
Sorry, I'm getting a call. Oh, my wife's calling. I got to take this.
Let's see. That means we could have 4 kids.
That either means good news or it means I'm in trouble.
Sophie Cunningham, Facebook friend update?
Haven't gotten anything yet. Keeping a look.
All Ethan's doing now is refreshing his Facebook feed to see if Sophie Cunningham has friended you.
It's pretty ironic that, our Wiggins America topic was ways to improve work performance because I have done nothing the last 20 minutes.
Ethan, you have a podcast, a sports podcast.
I do.
Now, I don't want you to do this the Ryan way. Do it briefly. Promote your podcast.
My podcast is titled The Loose Sports Talk. Myself and a couple of my good friends discuss, break down the latest in St. Louis sports, specifically Cardinals and Blues. Have a lot of great guests on in our most recent episode. We had on Katie Wu, Cardinals writer for The Athletic.
She's great.
One of the best out there, not only in St. Louis, but in the country. And then episode 69 is dropping tomorrow. And the one and only Chip Carey joining. So super excited
Carey.
for that. So it's cool because I'm very fortunate and blessed. My time with the Cardinals allowed me to meet and connect with a lot of people in the sports business here in St. Louis. So, we are able to get some great guests on, get some opinions of people that are in the room and are in the clubhouse and around the team constantly.
Sports.
The Lou Sports Talk on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. Exciting news coming here. We're going to be moving to video on YouTube starting next week.
Congratulations.
So looking
Good thing you know
forward
how
to
to do that.
Man, it's a relief. It's not like I've had practice every day the past 2 years.
So I thought we were talking about Sophie Cunningham, the WNBA, about 40 minutes ago or so, and Ethan told us that Sophie Cunningham is a suggested friend on Facebook of his. And I think that you would absolutely be open to having Sophie Cunningham as a guest on the Lou Sports Talk.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's a professional request.
Of course. Absolutely. I wouldn't say that the WNBA is our area necessarily of expertise, but any time that you have the opportunity to get someone that is that well known,
a hometown girl, home state girl.
Yes, absolutely. Oh yeah,
I don't think people know Sophie Cunningham went to Mizzou.
Not enough people know.
They're like, okay, to the point of what I was saying earlier in the show about how I had 60 minutes at home by myself. I watched the ESPYs and the WNBA because I chose to.
Mm-hmm.
One of the jokes that Shane Gillis told last night, he spotlighted a woman in the crowd. Was like, "Hey, let's welcome 4-time All-Star Betsy Davis or whatever it was." And they shine the light on her, and everybody cheers for him. And he's like, "She's not a WNBA star. I knew none of you knew who that."
It's like
he totally called
my friend's
him out.
wife.
Yes.
And then he goes, "Wow, I can't believe you all clapped for that."
Yes. So when it comes to the WNBA, I think that if you know these names now, you didn't know what they were doing in college. Any of them. Can you? How many WNBA stars can you name?
That currently play now? Let's see.
Can you name 5?
Paige Beckers from UConn. Sabrina Ionescu from Oregon.
I'm already impressed.
Caitlin Clark from Iowa. Angel Reese from LSU. The Lynx have the best player in the league, but I don't even know her name off the top of my head.
Aja Wilson?
What'd you say?
Is it Aja Wilson?
Yes, it is her.
I just know her. And the only names that I know are because people are discussing whether or not they're better than Caitlin Clark.
Sophie Cunningham from Mizzou.
Caitlin Clark is the Donald Trump of the WNBA. It all revolves around what she's doing.
Brittany Griner. Is she still in the league? Does she still play? Brittany Griner. That's 7.
Caitlin Clark just played her a couple of weeks ago.
Really? Yeah, I don't know. It's if you gave me a little while longer, I could probably come up with
I told my kids, I'm like, kids, that woman, we got her back from Russia for the Merchant of Death. They're like, my son looks at me like, what? I'm like, I can't explain it. Don't ask me to.
Yeah. Unfortunate. Now, hasn't she since then? I think she's had a little bit more gratitude for the country, and she's kind of said a couple things. I'm not sure.
I don't think she's made any that have come
drastic
across
effort.
Me. Well, no. I don't think she's made any errors when she came back. Come on. Right. I don't think that's the case.
But it's I can't imagine a more eye-popping realization of how great we have it in America than being imprisoned in Russia. Was it Russia?
Yes.
For an
marijuana
extended period
possession.
of time. So,
So at the ESPYs, I was watching the ESPYs last night for a little bit. So I got to see some of this live, but I couldn't stay and watch the whole thing. Simone Biles won Athlete of the Year. Female Athlete of the Year. And I'm like, well, that's a little on the nose. Mm-hmm. She's the one who just came out and attacked Riley Gaines for saying that only women should play women's sports. When she went up, it's funny to look at a crowd full of athletes because athletes, for the most part, look like fit versions of the rest of us. When you're watching the Oscars and you have the most beautiful people collected in the room, you're like, gosh, these are just sparkling people. When they're athletes, they're attractive, fit people, but they look like us. They got to where they are because they're incredibly skilled and talented at something. It's not necessarily that they have to be like show-stopping beautiful or whatever. So you're looking at the crowd and you're seeing they physically look like mortals in a lot of cases, but they're just, the most talented at what they do.
Sure.
But then when they go up to accept an award, they are also like us in that they're like, thank you for the award.
Yeah.
And then they leave the stage.
No idea what to say.
And I'm like, I'm okay with this. Simone Biles, I guess it was the second one that she had won yesterday, but I was just thinking, like, how ironic here that Simone Biles is walking up to, she couldn't publicly say so, but if there was a man gymnast who had a great year, who was had transitioned into competing into women's sports, would she be as happy sitting in the stands clapping for that individual in the women's category? I just don't think realistically that she would.
I don't either.
And all of this, and I'm thinking like, I don't know how many people watch the ESPYs or if anybody even does. I'm like, what percentage of these people even know that she just got into an spat with Riley Gaines over transgender individuals competing in women's sports?
Probably not enough.
Not many. So I was thinking, wow, what great irony this is. Shane Gillis, who is most famous, I would say, for his Donald Trump impression, was the host. And I guess, Norm Macdonald hosted the ESPYs one time, and Norm Macdonald is a certain kind of comic. Like, when you put him on there, you know that you're going to get some wild stuff. Are the ESPYs usually a roast?
To a certain extent, yes. But this was a whole new level.
Was it?
Oh, yeah.
I had no frame of reference.
Peyton Manning did it a few years ago, and he had some good digs in there. And there's definitely been people in the past that have done it, and it is, they do pick on different people in the audience, but this was a whole new level.
Shane Gillis presented himself in a way that I felt was like he wanted to make sure that he ticked off every single person in the room, at least at one point in time.
Mission accomplished.
Did you love it?
Oh, I loved it. The best part was like the audience not knowing how to react. That was the best part.
Donald Trump wants to stage a UFC fight on the White House lawn. The last time he staged a fight in D.C., Mike Pence almost died.
All right.
You don't have to do that. It's fine. I didn't write it. Actually, there was supposed to be an Epstein joke here, but as it got deleted. Must have probably deleted itself, right? Probably never existed, actually. Let's move on as a country and ignore that.
That's good stuff.
So good.
And I mean, are they taking a dig at Trump? Kinda, but I don't think Trump gives a crap about it. And
who cares?
It's funny.
You should be like that. He picked on everyone.
Yes.
So he should be able to make a joke about Trump. That it was very well done. There was a lot of jokes last night where you're like, ooh, and as much as you're like, oh my goodness, you're like, oh my goodness, how's the crowd gonna react to that? Knowing probably, I guess, the type of makeup is in that room probably leans a little bit more to the left, I would guess.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Well, no. Those people have money.
Yeah.
I think that athletes on the whole probably, of all the collections of people in an award show that you're going to get, I think that's going to be the closest to the center on average.
Maybe, but the crowd was still very much shaky.
But it doesn't matter if you're super far right or to the center or maybe just not a communist. if these are the standards, you don't want to be out there. If Gillis, and he did say some complimentary things of President Trump, you don't want to be out there visibly being on the Trump side. You got to you can't be knee slapping Bob out there. Not at all.
Like I was on the couch last night.
Yes, exactly. I was by myself.
My wife was like, what are you doing?
I was by myself watching this in my living room, looking around like, do you guys hear this? Dogs? Winnie, did you hear what they just said? My goodness. Let's take a very quick break. When we come back, Governor Mike Kehoe with us on the Annie Fry Show. Civialaw.com. Transitions in life are difficult, and they come with a lot of decisions, of course, legal decisions that you need to be prepared to make. And the good thing is that when you partner with the right attorney, you can really anticipate a lot of these transitions and be prepared. This is going to give you peace of mind. And when talking to Todd Civia, specifically when we were working on the trust, my husband and I, with Civia Law, the benefit of having these conversations ahead of time, often if you're in a state where a lot of these things that you're working on with your trust, they're being put into place because somebody has passed. You're having to navigate all of this. You're having to do business and legal stuff at the same time you're mourning. And if you want to be able to give yourself permission to fully mourn, when you contact Civia Law, you can have the discussions that you need to have to get those living wills established, the powers of attorney. These are very important things. If you have dependents in your life, please, please, please be one of the first 10 callers right now to Civia Law to have that initial conversation for free. That strategy session, they're going to waive that $300 fee for you. 833-995-WILL, 833-995-WILL, CiviaLaw.com.
When's the last time you gave your home's exterior a little love? Hi, it's Kim, and if your siding is cracking, it's fading, or just doesn't stand up to our St. Louis weather, it's time to call Lakeside Renovation and Design because they're experts in James Hardy siding, which is this durable, low-maintenance option, and it looks beautiful. Plus, you have customizable colors and textures, and so you can give your home a completely new look while protecting it for decades. Don't wait until the small problems turn into big ones. Visit lakesidearty.com to schedule your free consultation.
We are giving away Creed tickets in the 2 o'clock hour, so be sure to stay listening to know when we are going to be giving those away and when you have your chance to win. The time is 1:31. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Bold takes, real talk, no apologies. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
The cell phone ban would start this fall. Electronics will be banned at any time of the day except if needed for class instruction. And students with specific educational or health needs like IEPs or 504 plans would be allowed to use their phones. Schools must also create a written policy, including disciplinary procedures for violations, and these rules must be published on the school's website. This statewide cell phone ban comes after several school districts, of course, in our area have already implemented these restrictions, like Parkway School District as well as Edwardsville School District.
KSDK reporting on one of the bills that Governor Mike Kehoe has signed into law here in the state of Missouri, and it affects the usage of cell phones in the school and in the classroom. Let's speak to Governor Mike Kehoe. Welcome to the show, Governor. It's great to have you here with us on the show.
Annie, it's great to be back on 97.1. I appreciate you having me on.
Of course. I wanted to give you the opportunity to speak to your emphasis when you signed this bill regarding cell phone usages in classrooms and in schools. What was the impetus on prioritizing this in legislation?
Well, it came from actually a Governors Association meeting that I went to last fall, right after we won the election, that several governors from other states had done. As a matter of fact, Ron DeSantis in Florida had done some research, small research groups in Florida that they studied test scores, student attention, et cetera, before a cell phone ban and then after cell phone ban. You saw the numbers increase dramatically to what students are able to comprehend and know. Just as a parent of four, I'm interested in my kids talking to each other at lunch, not sitting there playing whatever they're going to do. So we have enough distractions in life and in school. And I know our Senate sponsor, Senator Mike Henderson from south of St. Louis and St. Francis County, former school educator himself, was very passionate about trying to make sure we did something to help these school districts out and give them some guidance on what this would look like. And he certainly worked hard to get it across the line. We were happy to sign it.
Governor Mike Kehoe speaking with us here on the Annie Fry Show. It sounds like it's K through 12th grade. I'm thinking about all the kindergartners who are going to have to put their phones up now, but K through 12th grade. And it sounds like you're saying you need to do something in your school district, but you are still leaving it up to the school districts to choose what's best for them.
Sure, that's right. By the way, I was one of those mean parents that didn't buy a cell phone for my kid till after 8th grade.
Oh, shout it from the mountaintops. Yes.
But they told me that. All my kids told me how mean I was for that, but somehow they survived. So, yes, you do want districts. Districts have locally elected boards, some great people. I know people on school boards all across the state that are awesome folks that want the best thing for the kids in the district, and so we want them to customize it, as you mentioned in the soundbite from the other station as before we went on about some districts have already taken this up. So if they already have a plan in place, that's great. We just want to make sure that they got that publicized on their websites for parents to know.
Well, and it starts this coming school year. Governor, when we're talking about the possession of and the usage of schools or phones within the schools, I think possession of is obviously different than the usage of it. A lot of people, myself included, do see a benefit in the case of an emergency, and we can use our imaginations as to what that looks like, the ability to call out, to call for help, or to document certain things. Does this eliminate their ability to have them at school, or just the way that they're implemented while they're at the school?
Well, again, the school's going to have to develop a detailed policy on how they're going to implement and enforce that. But let me just say, technology works both ways. The technology in classrooms and schools, K through 12 schools got a record amount of funding this year. So they have resources to put that technology in place. Some schools, as I mentioned, have already done it. But, there's ways to get that safety message should it unfortunately be needed to a classroom, to a teacher. There's ways for our parents to be able to go through. They can look at other districts who have already done this, for examples, to go through the office digitally to get to a student should there be a family emergency. So there's communications on both sides, and the technology has increased enough to, I think, the system needed to make sure teachers and school administrators need to understand when there's a problem can easily be put in place as well.
Governor Kehoe speaking with us right now, of course, the governor of the state of Missouri. I actually heard about this next story I want to ask you about to kind of champion for the state of Missouri from a mom on a baseball team. Our sons play baseball together, and they work at this new modernized Midwestern food safety lab that just opened in St. Louis with the USDA. Secretary Brooke Rollins was here in St. Louis to open it. And my understanding is St. Louis was a choice to do this, to implement this. It's not something that there are a bunch of these all over the country, that this was a pretty special thing to have the secretary come here and help open.
Very special. There's only 3 USDA labs across the country. St. Louis is one of them. And we used to be in the old ammunitions plant over on Goodfellow, basically close to Goodfellow in 70. So they were there for a long time, for decades. I'll tell you, as I walked around that new plant over in University City with Secretary Rollins and with our Ag Director, Chris Chin, and talked to the employees there, when we asked the question, how long have you been here? It was very typical to hear 16 years, 22 years, 43 years. I mean, these people are very committed. They're doing a great service, keeping our food supply safe, keeping the food that comes on your table or the food that you eat in a restaurant safe for you. It's a critical operation of what USDA does. It was an honor for Missouri and for the St. Louis region to have Secretary Rollins come and tour that plant and literally kind of do the grand opening for the plant. They've only just been in it a few weeks. I think the 1st of June they got the keys, and most of the employees have just been there now for a year. So brand new plant, started under Trump 1, as was recognized, the first Trump administration recognized we need to continue to provide safety to our food supply system, and that the facility they were in was outdated and antiquated according to technology. And so now this was the grand opening, so it was a great day for food safety and for, like I said, St. Louis to have our Secretary of Agriculture there.
Certainly. We're speaking with Governor Mike Kehoe, the governor of the state of Missouri. You've been serving in a statewide official capacity for some time, of course, with as the lieutenant governor prior to this, during the Biden administration. I'm curious, is your assessment on your ability to maintain, and to continue freedom here in the state of Missouri, a red state that has a Republican-led supermajority in Jefferson City. How different is it for you to be able to lead Missouri in many capacities that this red state has done when you have a president like Donald Trump versus the prior administration?
Well, listen, I am so excited to be able to deal with somebody like Donald J. Trump and his administration. You know, we have some great conservatives in both the House and Senate, so that's been helpful from a statewide perspective, but obviously great conservatives in Congress with Josh Hawley and Eric Schmidt and our 6 congressional members that are really working hard for Missouri. I've had the honor to meet President Trump in the Oval Office and talk to him about what Missouri's doing. He has been very helpful to us in some unfortunate cases with the emergencies we've had with Mother Nature and some of the storms that we've had thrown at us. And so it's good to have a good relationship with somebody who actually understands that Missouri is a conservative state. We're a state of common sense Christian family values. We don't want to mess that up. We want to continue to expand on that. And the administration has been wonderful to work with.
Governor Kehoe, I want to ask and shine a spotlight here locally with the tornado damage that we can pretty much see from the office that we're sitting in right now in downtown St. Louis, ravaging North City among other areas right around here. What is the progress right now to get these people back on their feet, to get them back in homes?
Well, sure. Annie, I grew up basically just a few blocks north of where the tornado hit. So I'm from North City, St. Louis. So it was really personal to me to be able to get involved with that, as well as a lot of local leaders. And it's I've heard Senator Schmidt say this several times. Disaster relief is not a red shirt or a blue shirt. It is nonpartisan. Mayor Spencer, in my opinion, has done a very good job, as well as Wesley Bell and Ann Wagner and others from our congressional delegation, Bob Onder, have all kicked in to help us. The president was kind enough to call me personally. First of all, Secretary Rollins called me at 8 a.m. the morning after. Secretary Noem called me at 8 a.m. the morning after the tornado, and great to have Kristi Noem so far involved. And just that same day, later on that afternoon, President Trump called me personally. We are grateful that with the help of our federal delegation, President Trump did sign the order that gave us the executive emergency assistance, the executive order that gave us that. We in the state legislature, led by many people in the St. Louis region, and quite frankly, legislators across the state who knew how bad the damage was, have put an additional $100 million into that. So it's a huge area. There's a lot of buildings collapsed, a lot of homes that are partially or all destroyed. And so it's not going to happen overnight. But the city and the state and emergency management disaster, as well as our Corps of Engineers, are working together, which is who was able to come in when we were approved for the federal assistance by the president himself, to help to put together a plan on how you rebuild those neighborhoods. And as bad as that devastation is, I can tell you I saw the best of Missourians in St. Louis, and specifically coming to people's aids, getting in there, rolling up their sleeves, lots of help from the private sector who are coming in and trying to help. So it's going to be a monumental effort. But I believe that the plan that we've put in place to get these neighborhoods rebuilt, get these folks who are still struggling some help is available. And we're glad to make sure St. Louis continues to be the great city that it is.
Yeah, amen. And we want to make sure those people aren't forgotten, and we're grateful to hear that they haven't been. Last question for you before we let you go. We're speaking with Governor Mike Kehoe. We're talking about the federal government coming in to aid these individuals here in St. Louis, in our hometown. Missouri is coming to the aid of those in Texas. I understand here from a KY3 report out of Texas that Missouri Task Force 1 has been assisting in the flooding recovery efforts in Central Texas. What can you tell us about how Missouri is stepping up to help our neighbors in Texas?
Well, I'm super proud of Task Force 1. I'm going to be doing a call with them tonight. They're working, somewhere between 10 to 16 hours days down in Texas. We originally deployed a little over 50 members, and we sent another 35 down just in the last few weeks. It's one of only 3 federal urban search and rescue teams in the country. Wow. So FEMA asked us for their help. It's based out of Boone County, but Task Force 1 members are emergency responders from all over the state, and they come together and unite together to help on these disasters. We saw them, unfortunately, in New York on 9/11. We've seen them deployed in St. Louis City just a few days after we had the horrible tornado there. They are our area's first responders. They're people and your listeners know from the community that are firemen or EMTs that come together as Task Force 1 and are now deployed down to Texas helping with that horrific disaster. I'm super proud of them. I can't wait to talk to them tonight. I know they're worn out every day, but that's what they sign up for. That's what first responders do. They make our community safe, and in this case, we help aid other communities, and I couldn't be more proud of them.
Well, we hope they keep up the great work, and you as well, Governor. Thank you for the time today. We got to a lot of details here, a lot of very positive things happening in Missouri. We're grateful for you to help shine a light on that.
It's always great to be on 97.1. I appreciate what you do as well.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have you here. Governor Mike Kehoe, 58th governor of the state of Missouri, on X at @GovMikeKehoe. Wonderful to have him here on the show. Let's take a quick break, get Ethan back in here, and get a Sophie Cunningham friend update. Are we friends yet? Are we friends? We need to know Everybody go tweet at Sophie Cunningham and be like, there's this reporter in St. Louis who has this great sports podcast. Is trying to get a hold of you. I don't know. Ethan didn't authorize that. We'll have to ask him when we come back. Don't go away. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. The number to call them to help alleviate that eyesore, sunken concrete. It's dangerous. It's a safety hazard. You know that. You need to figure out a solution. And if you're like me, you see something like that in your house, you know that you have to fix it, and you're just kind of spooked about the cost because you've got no idea. Have you ever been in that position? I know I have to fix this, but does this cost $8 bazillion or is this going to cost $800? I don't even know. When it comes to leveling out concrete, the cost to rip it out and replace it, that's expensive. Maybe that's what you have to do, but you want a cost-effective way to assess the leveling of that concrete at your home or at your business, you got to reach out to Home Shield Foundation Repairs. Talk to Matt Hayes, the owner, family-owned and operated business, and ask him to come out and check it out. He'll let you know what he can do for you, and the cost-effective way of polyjacking over the full replacement, man, you are going to save some dollars doing it that way. 314-227-9636, 314-227-9636, 314-227-9636, HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Hey, it's Mark Cox. Join me July 28th at Old Hickory Golf Club for the Missouri Republican PAC's first annual golf tournament benefiting Senator Adam Schnelting. Teams and individual golfers are welcome. Learn more at 971talk.com/events.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-2523. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-2523. That's 800-575-2523.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Are you nearing retirement and don't know if you have enough money saved to retire? That is scary. Do you have a written retirement financial plan in place? Well, when it comes to retirement planning, the trusted team at Financial and Tax Architects are the best. They've helped people all over St. Louis retire with confidence. And that's what you want. You want to retire with confidence. Now, they offer a one-night, 2.5-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. They hold these at colleges over the St. Louis area and in Illinois. No cost, no obligation, just learning. And at this class, you learn how to avoid costly mistakes, how to maximize your income, how to reduce taxes in retirement. So call them today, 314-888-5101, or visit fta-ria.com. and take the first step toward a smarter retirement. 314-888-5101.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Range. It's the Annie Fry Show.
Sophie update.
Nada.
No, friend.
Not yet.
Just send her a BFF bracelet.
What are those? What are BFF bracelets?
Do you know what a BFF is?
Well, I know what is it just like the little
Do you know
beads
what
that say
BFF stands
BFF?
for?
Yes, best friend forever.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that it still meant the same thing as it did in 1992.
I mean, it probably doesn't, but
No, it's probably some incredibly, profoundly heinous thing now.
it probably is.
Yeah, the big beautiful bill, which everybody, like, if you listen to the, I think it's Outnumbered. I think it's Emily Campagno. She calls the one big beautiful bill OB3, which sounds like a football player, like RG3.
Yeah, true. It does. Reminds me of like the Outer Banks. It's like OBX. That's what they call the Outer Banks show.
I didn't
It's
know
like
that.
what they nickname it.
She calls it OB3. But when we had Taylor Riggs on earlier this week, when we were talking, she didn't call it the big, beautiful bill. She called it the big, beautiful law, which is a BBL, which is something else.
Is it?
Do you know what it is? It's a Brazilian butt lift.
That's what that stands for.
You knew what it was, but you didn't know what it stood for.
Yeah, I didn't know how far we were going with it, and you just said
Brazilian
going
butt
all in.
lift. It's
Why Brazilian? Now we too far?
No. Probably, but you're also out of my league, so I don't know. Haven't done any plastic surgery yet. BBL's not high on my list. So, yeah, she calls it the big, beautiful law, which is the BBL, which I enjoy. I enjoy that. The YouTube live chat poll for today. Do you still trust Kash Patel or Pam Bondi? Which segment are we in? Are we in the last segment?
Yep.
Get new clocks. I don't even know. Are you sure?
No. This one ends at 44.
No, it doesn't. It's 150. Figure it out. How did that
Tripping.
happen?
All I know is we need more BBLs.
No, the last segment ended at 44. This one ends at 56.50.
Okay. This is a little behind the scenes stuff, very in front of the scenes because we don't know where we are.
Yeah,
you were here.
Kehoe was the third one. Yeah. Yeah. We're on it.
So we went, I don't know. Am I allowed to talk about this? I am. You can't stop me.
You know what they say? Don't talk about Fight Club.
If you see Trisha running into the door, just bar the door, Katie. I mean, Ethan. Katie, bar the door. No, nothing? Never mind.
I got nothing. This is radio.
We went from 3 segments to 4 segments. You may have noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Commercial breaks are a little shorter now.
More of us.
I have to be a little snappier. I am not allowed to pee until 3:15 anymore.
You're not allowed to say, I have to pee.
It's too long.
Gotta pee.
Gotta pee. And, like, on the way out.
Vital time wasted.
It's an adjustment. I have not changed. When they said they wanted to change things up a little bit, I was like, cool, let's do it. I'll do my best. But I have done it the other way since 2018. And on Saturdays even before that. So we've changed things up. But
You're
it did get a little
doing great.
confused. B minus.
BBL. Big Beautiful Law.
Do you trust Kash Patel or Pam Bondi? Our YouTube live chat today. You trust the FBI, you trust the Attorney General, you trust both, or you trust neither. The Kash Patel thing should say trust the FBI director. I don't think I wrote that out. Do you, Ethan, have any dramatic thoughts on this? Of course, a lot of people are questioning in the wake of the Epstein is not a thing. I mean, to the extent that it made it into the ESPY jokes about Epstein. Do you feel strongly about this?
Not super strongly. I can tell you this much, just based off of, on subjects that I am not super knowledgeable in. You rely on the people that you trust, and the people that.
In light of those people not being here,
right? Wiggins isn't here. In light of that, I think I tend to lean towards I trust Kash Patel. I'm not really sure how I feel about Pam Bondi, just like I said, based off of what the people that around me are discussing their conversations. Even your thoughts, Annie, on Pam Bondi and some of the question marks are really good things to consider. And seeing people like, I don't know if Patel has, but Bongino and his pushback against some of these things kind of makes you wonder, kind of makes you scratch your head and go, So I think I'm a little bit more on the side of I trust the FBI director. I'm not entirely sure about the Attorney General.
Yeah, she just doesn't present herself in a super confident way, but I think that's just kind of the way she is. I don't think it's necessarily that she is incompetent or incapable. It just seems she doesn't have this great strength about her presentation. Brad said on our Facebook page, I trust Donald J. Trump. He may or may not trust them. If he doesn't, Trump's probably leaving them for bait. Kurt says, trust no one. Kurt, you're one of ours. Quick Rick says, tough question. I trust both for now, but I've learned that trust is earned and it's been violated in the past. I really believe that Donald Trump has delivered on so much of what he said he was going to do. One of the major highlights of this time around, second term with President Trump, is that he had learned a lot of tough lessons the hard way out of the first term in office, that he appointed people who were like, you need to put this person here, you need to put that person there. And then it turned out that all of those people were basically trying to keep the president at bay instead of installing people who are in your cabinet who are there to, I serve at the pleasure of the president. These people were serving at the pleasure of the deep state that was trying to keep Donald Trump contained so he could only affect the things that they would permit him to affect. And that's not the way that it's supposed to work. And that his lesson that he learned from the first term going into the next term was effectively to get people in that you knew you could trust, that you knew were a part of the America First, Make America Great Again mentality, that they were going to keep their eye on the prize and help see the promises that were being made by the campaign through to the very, very end. And it seems as though, have we had any major departures from the cabinet? I mean, Matt Gaetz was nominated for Attorney General, and we were like, that's weird. And then he dropped out.
Not that I can think of.
Mike Waltz?
Yeah, but he's up for UN ambassador.
He's just kind of
being relocated. And every time somebody relocates, Mark Rubio gets to do the job. He'd be a great Attorney General.
Yeah.
This time around, the chaos that ensued in the first term when President Trump was putting people in that he was being recommended and not necessarily choosing himself. He didn't know what he didn't know. How are you supposed to be an outsider? How are you supposed to come in like a wrecking ball to an established way of bureaucratically doing things and be a newcomer, an outsider, and know what to do? You can't.
Did you find it interesting seeing, I guess more so, hearing Trump be vulnerable, I guess, about some of those things that he had learned at the time that he shared those? Because I thought it was a really good way of relating and saying, like, yeah, this is what I learned in my first term, and this is how I'm going to improve it.
We appointed people that were not in for the cause. It is an admission by Donald Trump that everything he does isn't 100% A+ every time.
Which was, I think, needed.
Yeah. I agree with that. I really appreciate when he is being asked questions in a press conference or kind of just spitballing, because he'll take a question from anybody about anything. Somebody will say something to him and he'll be like, well, I haven't heard that yet. I don't know. I don't know how I would react to that. Like, he doesn't have an answer for everything every time. That when you witness that he's like, I will have to think about that before I just respond immediately, I find that refreshing as well.
Yeah, me too.
Tell us on the YouTube channel if you still trust Cash Patel and Pam Bondi. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
I don't even know why.
When my wife and I got married after both graduating law school, we didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. Ultima had to give me her gas card just to drive home. We never could have imagined that one day we would have the largest injury firm in the world and $25 billion in money collected and counting. As good Catholics, we had 4 children fast. They all work in the firm today. Our family protecting yours. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. But our greatest gift was years away, grandchildren. Today we have 6 and counting. It's the greatest joy that we have ever experienced. I think about them all day long. Our family promises to protect your family should you need us. Call us. It's easy. Visit forthepeople.com and make sure you hug your grandchildren. God's final gift to us. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hi, Chad Hansen with Hansen's Tree Service. You know your trees can't talk, but if they could, they'd be calling me. From trimming to treatments, we'll make your trees the healthiest and happiest on the block. Call us before your trees start giving you the silent treatment. Check us out at hansenstree.com.
Mark Cox here. Let me introduce you to my friends at the Lit Cigar Lounge in St. Louis, where luxury meets comfort. Premium hand-rolled cigars, an extensive selection of rare bourbons and whiskeys and craft cocktails. It's comfortable for non-smokers, too. They have a state-of-the-art ventilation system. They have private lockers and live music every Friday night, perfect for date nights or business meetings or just winding down. Visit litstl.com. Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon from my friends at Zero Res, and July is actually National Carpet Cleaning Month, and because of that, Zero Res is offering a purchase of 3 rooms of carpet cleaned and get 1 free, plus $50 off air duct surfaces. Here in St. Louis, you got stains from toasted Rav, dog hair thicker than a summer party at Soulard, and a mystery spot that might be beer, might be barbecue. Let's face it, might be both. It's time to call the pros at Zero Res. They clean without soap, harsh chemicals, or that weird musty smell your Aunt Linda's house always has. They use their powerful, fancy ZR water, so your floors dry fast, feel soft, and smell like victory, like beating Chicago maybe. Vacuuming is simply not sufficient to maintain the cleanliness and the lifespan of your carpet, and Zero Res can handle it all. Carpets, tiles, rugs, upholstery, air ducts, basically every surface in your home. Take advantage of this offer. Buy 3 rooms of carpet clean, you get one free, plus $50 off air duct services. Call today at 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com. Tell me what the 97.1 FM Talk special. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Tracking those records. I'm John Saucier, Fox News. Federal immigration officials will gain access to Medicaid records to help track down individuals who are in the country illegally. Fox's Jared Halpern with more from the White House.
An agreement between ICE and the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services will give immigration enforcement home addresses and ethnicities of the country's 79 million Medicaid enrollees, according to documents obtained by the Associated Press. ICE officials will be able to find the location of immigrants in the country illegally and ensure they're not getting Medicaid benefits. The agreement signals the latest strategy by the Trump administration to carry out what the president has described as the largest deportation operation ever. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
After Senate passage overnight, the House is expected to vote tonight to make some of the spending cuts proposed by the Trump administration official. Fox's Ryan Schmelz has more.
After an all-night vote-orama, the Senate passes the $9 billion rescissions package with cuts to foreign aid and public broadcasting.
This is a great first step.
Florida Senator Ashley Moody on Fox and Friends First was one of 51 Republicans voting for the package, with Republicans Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski joining almost all Democrats in voting against it. A rescissions package allows the White House to request spending cuts from Congress that can pass with a simple majority in both chambers. It now heads back to the House, where Republicans will need to pass it before Friday's deadline. On Capitol Hill, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer.
It is senseless, it is cruel, and just defies common sense. The Republicans have become the party of cut now, ask questions later.
And the House busy with that rescissions package, but also expected to start voting this afternoon on 3 bills that deal with cryptocurrency regulation. America's listening to Fox News.
At LendSeek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply today with no cost or obligation at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-785-1155. That's 800-785-1155.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Scattered thunderstorms going through the afternoon, some with very heavy downpours of rain and intense lightning, 72. Overall, it's not a widespread severe weather outbreak, but there will be a couple of strong storms. Friday, partly sunny. It's cooler, but still the chance of a pop storm. 85 on Friday, then all about summer this weekend and all of next week. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Time to schedule your air conditioner service. Get not just your AC, but your entire HVAC system checked for $19 a month with the preferred partner plan, and stay cool this summer. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's
in love with the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Well, it's a beautiful Thursday. It looks like it might rain again. If it rains, we might have baseball rained out, and I could have 2 back-to-back free nights.
Boy, would that be clutch.
You know, like they say in Bull Durham, sometimes it rains. Hooray. I've got tickets for the Savannah Bananas tomorrow night.
Really?
Yeah. I was super pumped to go initially.
Mm-hmm.
It got rained out and rescheduled for tomorrow night. The way they sold the Savannah Banana tickets was like this whole lottery thing. You could enter in the lottery. I don't know. Savannah Bananas they have something figured out. They have
big time.
They have a process that's really unlike any other process. The tickets were $40 a piece. That is super affordable compared to what they probably could sell them for because they sold out immediately, basically. But you go enter into a lottery and then you get drawn to be able to have the privilege to purchase tickets, or maybe you don't. I'm kind of thinking about, gosh, I hope my kids aren't listening. I'm kind of thinking about seeing if I should stay home. Because here's the thing. You could only buy 5 tickets at a time. So I thought initially they were going to let you buy 2 sets of 5 tickets max. So you could buy 10 tickets total. Folks, I have a family of 6. So that means somebody's not going to be able to go.
Who's the odd one out?
I think my husband would kill me if I was like, why don't you take all the kids and go by yourself? But I was thinking about staying home with Molly. Molly does. Oh, that's somebody calling me right now to tell me that they want my tickets.
Maybe it's Sophie Cunningham.
Super pro move there to have your phone on ring, Annie. Thank you. I'm thinking about maybe offering to stay at home with the 4-year-old. But here's the question. Which of my kids gets to bring a friend? Or maybe Jared gets to bring a friend.
That's the play.
That might be the play because then, it's not as, it doesn't sound as difficult, right? You have someone to support a little bit there. Not quite mom level, but
I mean, like if it's my son who's 15, my daughter who's almost 13, and my
fair.
daughter who's 9, we're not worried about.
That's fair.
Like spoon feeding Dippin' Dots. My kids are like, "Do we get Dippin' Dots?" No, no, you don't.
Dippin' Dots got expensive.
A bowl of Dippin' Dots seems like it goes. I feel like when you get ice cream, an order of ice cream looks bigger than an order of Dippin' Dots. No?
No, I'd agree.
Like if you had a bowl of Dippin' Dots that was the size of a bowl of ice cream, I feel like that would be a lot of Dippin' Dots.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Do you prefer Dippin' Dots?
Yeah, depending on the flavor, probably. Yeah, there's something about Dippin' Dots as a kid. Like if there's somewhere
Space
that you're
ice
at
cream.
and you see
The
Dippin'
mall.
Dots, Raging Rivers. That was a place growing up. Dippin' Dots every time. That was your treat. The ballpark. It was either that or the frozen lemonades. But Dippin' Dots was always, it felt like the top option.
Six Flags. I don't know if they have Dippin' Dots, but I
They
can
probably
think of the Six Flags treat that we would have growing up were like the frozen lemonades, but they'd also have strawberry, the frozen strawberry things. It's like just an icy
Italian
type of-
ice?
Italian ice.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Dippin' Dots were like this thing from another world, and it was definitely something that if we went to the mall, they had Dippin' Dots there. You'd get Dippin' Dots at the mall.
Now they're just insane expensive.
You mentioned Raging Rivers.
Mm-hmm.
How often did you partake in a Raging Rivers trip?
We were there every summer, at least once.
Did you have like an annual pass or something?
We did it for a couple of years when we were all really young. But the older we got, I mean, I would say like close to throughout all of high school, we went at least once a year.
Did your parents go with you?
Mm-hmm.
And did they participate with you?
Yeah. It was kind of a family thing we did.
Yeah. Have you been recently?
I have not been probably since high school. No.
Do you think if you went back to Raging Rivers right now that you would enjoy it?
Probably not as much as I did as a kid. But the reason that we went growing up so much is that the owners went to our church. it has since been sold.
Mhm.
But now I'm seeing clearly they're getting a hold of the social media stuff.
Yes.
Because I see their social media stuff, like their TikToks and stuff.
All the time.
All the time. And I love it.
Yeah.
It's fun. It kind of like, oh man, those rides are so fun.
They
And
look like
I
they're
think
not
they added
taking
a ride.
themselves too seriously either,
Yeah.
which I appreciate.
Yeah. And it's such a cool spot for
Yeah.
a water park, like right on the river.
My husband and I both, we never had been to Raging Rivers ever until maybe, I want to say that it was before COVID. We went and stayed in Grafton one night. So we were there for like 48 hours, but it was just the two of us. And we stayed up on the hill in Grafton, and we were like just going to do Grafton things without kids. And so we were going to go to the loading dock. That was great. Great drinks in the loading
They got
dock.
some wineries there. They got a cool ski lift.
The ski lift was not there yet.
Okay.
And we were just going to walk down the shops
Mm-hmm.
and just we went and, it's so crazy to me how accessible the river is. I mean, I don't know what you're supposed to do with it. Is that the Mississippi or is that the Missouri?
Yeah, it's the Mississippi.
It's the Mississippi.
It's just so pretty.
It's beautiful. You get up close to it. I mean, you could just, I'm standing next to him and like, I could just be in the river.
You could walk into the river in multiple areas.
Somebody
down
should
Grafton.
stop me from being able to just be in the river. But you're just there. That's just the way it is.
I mean, just looking at it kind of does that.
It
but
freaks me out.
It's kind of gross.
I respect it. I know it's powerful.
Uh-huh.
Well, we were in Grafton and we were just doing whatever we want. We could, lay at the resort and watch movies or things that, we entertained us that we wouldn't normally watch when the kids were around or whatever. Because you can't even watch Blue Bloods when you have little kids in the house because it's just full of dead bodies laying all over the place. So we were kind of taking it in, and you pass Raging Rivers on the way in. And we were like, I've never been to Raging Rivers. And he's like, I've never been to Raging Rivers either. I'm like, should we go? So we went, just the two of us.
That's a great way to go.
As grown adults, and we're like, let's just go see. And we did the slides. We did everything once, and we're like, all right, that's enough.
Yeah,
for us,
totally.
But I've noticed lately that slides if they're body slides, and you go down a body slide, if you can feel the seams in the pieces, I'm like, am I a wimp that this is painful and I don't want to do it anymore?
Hurts.
Does it hurt kids? Do they not feel that?
As a former kid, I can say yes, it did hurt.
But
I
you would
remember
do it again?
hurt. Well, yeah.
Wow.
But like I remember a couple times being like, "Oh my gosh, do I have a bruise on my spine? Like
Yeah.
up near my like
We did the
my neck?"
toilet
I'm
bowl
like,
thing.
That's the one that always hurt.
And
now I think they've reseamed all those. I don't think they have those issues with any of them anymore.
Well,
But-
we're like, we'll go do this thing. It'll be great. If we like can't cut it, we just won't tell people we did it. We did everything, but we were getting ready to go on that thing, and he and I were both like, I don't know that I really want to do this. It was like the walk of shame was way too far, and when you got two adults, like there's no kid that's bailing out of it. It's just us mid-30-year-olds being like, I don't know if this is for me.
You did it though, right?
Heck yeah, we did.
Okay, God, I got worried. For
And
a
when I
second.
was swirling around that little toilet bowl
Uh-huh.
thing, and then you just plunk in, I'm like, this is outside of my comfort zone. This is why I still can't believe that I flew in a F-18 Super Hornet with the Blue Angels. Because
you
I was
did
like,
that.
the toilet bowl at Raging Rivers is a little out of my comfort zone. Yes, Mr. Blue Angel pilot, I will fly in your back seat. It was fun, and I'm so glad we did it. But I just remember, like, it was a hot day. There were people all over the place. But I was impressed. I was impressed with the presentation, and I think it's a really cool place for people to go in the summer, for families to be able to go. It's kind of something that you don't really think about, and then you drive past it, you're like, why am I not doing that?
Feels like that's Grafton as a whole because you just have to go so far to get down there. But I love Grafton. I think it's a very cool, low-key, quaint town. It's picturesque everywhere. There's things to do, especially once you get older. Like, I can go, like, if Hannah and I wanted to go to the winery and just enjoy a date night there, you can do that. You can't do that as, like, a 17-year-old. But, like, no, Grafton's an awesome little town.
Well,
And Eckert's is not far away, too.
Yeah. Eckert's for us is the Belleville Eckert's, so we usually go south for it. Last night on Gutfeld, we were watching, I watch Gutfeld. I have it on with the kids, and every once in a while I'm like, oh, right, that's good. It's not really like kid material. In the summer, I'm just paying attention. I'm like side-eyeing my kids. I'm like, how much are they paying attention to this? But they did a story towards the end, and it was about a new dating app.
Uh-oh.
for Disney adults.
Oh, no.
Called Single Riders.
This
Guys.
is not good.
Guys, the Gutfeld crew was not nice to adults who go to Disney without children. I kind of reconsidered a lot of things.
Do you want to specify what you were reconsidering or no?
Well, my husband and I, we have the timeshare with Disney. So
Okay.
we can go there. We have invested in it. We've paid for it. It's ours to enjoy. And so I can, on Southwest Airline points, fly without money out of my pocket other than the $5.60 fee, fly to Orlando in 2 hours, and we can go stay at a very nice resort at Disney World. We went last November together to do Christmas shopping because we get 20% off because we're annual pass holders at Disney World. We were there for 4 days, 3 nights, just Jared and me, and we went there to shop for Christmas. 20% off anything that you buy on property. We did 2 attractions the entire time we were there. Tower of Terror and Hall of Presidents.
Never done either of those.
That was it. And then the rest, I mean, we're not going there and like riding all the rides. If anything, we sleep in, chill at the resort, and then a lot of times we'll go to Epcot and eat and drink at festivals.
That's a little different than probably what they were describing as
There is no way if I would have been sitting on that set on the Gutfeld show, I'd be like, guys, let me explain to you.
Yeah, freaking losers.
Like, they're sitting around talking about this, and my oldest daughter's looking at me like, Mom. And I told her as soon as
They're
I said
calling you a
I go,
loser.
Jensen, this is not going to be friendly. This is not going to be good. Oh gosh, I'm wearing my DVC member shirt right now. I didn't even think about that. I wish that there was a way to explain the difference between what we do and that perception of people who have never grown up that go do this. I can't explain it to people. I also have made a resolution this year that I'm going to stop caring what you think about how I spend my time and my money when it comes to my family. But the Single Riders, the app is called Single Riders, and it's designed for people who share a mutual passion for theme parks. One of the founders of the app teased the concept and invited Disney fans to get involved. He explained in a social media post that the idea came after he was stood up on a date. He said in the video, quote, I did what any other Orlando local does, and I went to Disney. I realized we need a Disney dating app. It's expected to have a romantic and friendship option. Many are excited about the concept as, quote, Disney adults, end quote, often visit theme parks by themselves. Like, even writing that sentence is an attack.
So sad.
Quote, I go to the parks alone, and it would be awesome to have a feature that shows if other singles are at the park at the same time. Here's the thing, though. Now, I'm not single. I'm very not single. I could never go alone. A lot of people talk about taking solo trips, and I do not understand that. But I also don't want to go to Disney World to meet new people. I don't want to necessarily meet any people. I just want to go a place other than here. Specifically in Florida, where it's warm, with the people I love.
I haven't been since I was 14, so I'd have to, I need confirmation on this, but I have to imagine one of the more, and obviously there's so much to do there, but I have to imagine right up there rivaling it, one of the most enjoyable things would be to people watch as well, because like you said, there are some characters there.
I've told
Can you clearly tell, like, oh yeah, that's a Disney person?
Yeah.
Isn't like obvious as day? Like I said, it's been 10 years since I've been.
I truly also don't care. If they're there doing their thing,
You're not like,
and I'm
loser.
here doing my thing, I mean, no, not really. I'm just happy when, like, I go there because it's a place to relax.
Sure.
And
relax? Disney World?
Dang right.
Mm-hmm.
You
guys and I have very different definitions of relax.
You want to go sometime? Let's plan a trip without Ryan.
Now we're talking.
Absolutely not. It would be the meanest thing we could do to go to a theme park without him.
It's true.
We could go. We could go. We went with Hannah.
I know.
It was 2 nights, 3 days, and I think we did everything.
Only if Brad and Ryan are the ones like having to share the twin bed.
We shared a
I'm
hotel
getting
room when
my
we
own.
went last time.
Q Irv on YouTube says, we watched that too. They talk about Gutfeld, and we love Disney, and we were like, stop it to what they were saying. Ha, and we're old. That's what Irv said. Too bad they don't know what they are missing. That's the thing. It's kind of an if you know thing, and you can't explain it to people until you go. I'm going to tell you this, Ethan. If we go, it won't be relaxing.
Mm-mm.
But you can go and make it relaxing, which is what we do when we take our family trips.
Okay. All right.
And if you
I
go
hear
a little
you.
more frequently, you don't feel like you have to do everything at one time.
I can completely understand that. I'm with you on that. I understand that.
Well, if you hate Disney adults and you need some like Misery Loves Company type of a situation, watch Gutfeld from last night because they were cruel. And I knew it was coming and I winced and I'm like, well, I mean, I get it. But when you go and you're hanging out there and you're just enjoying it, there are a lot of different people. It's the most traveled to destination, I think, in the world. You're going to have all kinds there. My husband and I, our favorite game to play, we will sit and people watch, and we just try to pick out everybody who's from the Midwest. And folks, we stand out. It's great. All right. Local and sports news with Ethan and a Sophie Cunningham update. Are they friends yet? We'll tell you when we come back. Don't go away.
Just wanna keep calling your name until you come back home.
RulerFoods.com. Save when you shop for your groceries when you go to Ruler Foods. RulerFoods.com, and you can find the one that's closest to you, closest to work, closest to church, wherever you frequent. They're all over the bi-state region. If you haven't gone in yet, put aside any sort of assumptions you have about Ruler Foods and do me this favor and go in and just check them out. See what they have. The savings speak for themselves. They have extra opportunities to save, like right now on Armor Lunch Makers, Smart Way Fruit Snacks, 10 for $10. You can save on Kroger Snack Medleys, pudding snacks, just $1 each. You can save on delicious, fresh produce. You can rely on Ruler Foods produce. We do in our house. Blueberries, blackberries, or raspberries, just 2 for $5. And red or white seedless grapes, $1.88 a pound. You can also save on back to school, which is coming up here. Sorry, kids, had to say it out loud. It is a fact. We are approaching August. You know what that means. You can grab classroom must-haves for under 50 cents, like Crayola crayons, plastic rulers, pencil sharpeners, sticky notes, index cards, and more. Go to rulerfoods.com for all the details.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Man, the heat has been killer for our comfort in the last week or so. We got swamped, and I'm not going to tell you to call me when we can't take care of you in a reasonable amount of time. But I've been hearing this, and it's interesting to where people want to get prices for new equipment. A word of advice on what you replace it with if you do not call me. Keep this in mind. Don't jump the shark and say, well, the more I spend, the more my bills go down. You and only you know what you spend a month on your utilities for cooling and heating. If you were told you need a new air conditioner or you know it's just not working for you, call me, Bert Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. The only number, Missouri and Illinois, is 314-293-2600. God bless.
Speeding while driving gives you less time to react. Another car could turn out in front of you. A pedestrian could be walking their dog. Follow the speed limit to keep them safe. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
Call now
now to win free tickets to see Creed August 2nd, 314-241-9797. The 10th caller wins 2 free tickets. 314-241-9797.
Rooted in faith, grounded in family. This is the Annie Fry Show.
Three 314-241-9797 if you want to win those Creed tickets. 10th caller. Lines are blowing up right now, so jump in line. Right now is where we do our local and sports news segment with Ethan. And
Hold up. Check it out.
sports and local.
Hannaford's hometown hits, home runs, and happenings.
Just keep going with H words.
Quite the alliteration.
Nice. Home runs. Will it be a home run? Okay, I don't like your lack of confidence. What do you got for us today?
I'm thinking maybe like a ground rule double down the left field line.
That's all right. Do a job, man. Do a job.
Is that one on the shirt? Is that one on your shirt that you're making with all the baseball quotes?
It's half of them.
That's half of them. Do a
half
job.
of them. Do a job. Come on, kid. Do a job. Okay, coach. Listen, the person I give the most crap to about this is my husband.
Because he says them all?
He will say some of them. I don't know if my teasing influences him to say it more or less.
You guys loud parents from the seats, from the stands?
Less than I used to be, but yeah. But also, for most sports that my kids play, we are on the bench. Baseball has been really intriguing. They're in a recreational high school league right now that my husband is coaching, and it's 100% fun. I think I've told this before, but we make cookies for the kids after the boys, the high school boys, every game.
For 15-year-olds?
No, it's through high. It's through.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, we said we're making baseball great again, and we're cookies. We want to make it. We sell ice pops at the concession stand. The kids are eating ice pops.
That's fun.
And the league is full of kids who play for very competitive high school teams, but also kids who are rec league level. And the point is just go have fun playing baseball. And there are some people in this league who take it super seriously. My son goes, these people are taking this really seriously. And we have an MVC, which is the most valuable cookie, and it's a big one. And
this is winning.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, the MVC is the Num Num cookie from Disney World. My daughter makes them. They're the best chocolate chip cookies you'll ever have. And so he gives a cookie out after the end, and then everybody else gets a cookie. He goes like, I don't know if we're doing this really right or really wrong.
That's hilarious.
We just want it to be fun. It's a rec league, and I'll say to my son at first, I'm like, what happens if you lose this game? And he'll sit and think, I'm like, nothing happens. You go home and play Fortnite. If you win, what do? You go home and play Fortnite. We eat dinner. It's okay. You're getting reps. You're having fun with your buddies. High school baseball, that's not something we do then. That's serious. We're super competitive, yes. But like kids, don't forget to have fun in the summers while you're still a kid, because the rest of your life is going to be miserable. Just kidding.
Woof. There needs to be more of that in the world.
Do you want us to do an MVC for the show?
Yes, I do.
At the end of the week, I'll give out a Most Valuable Cookie Award?
Yes, I would absolutely love
Would
that.
it inspire your productivity? I know it would inspire Ryan's.
I think it would inspire Ryan's more than mine.
I used to reward him with oatmeal cream pies, and then when he
I
said that
remember.
he became a sort of diabetic, I'm like, I don't think that I can do that anymore. He's like, you can definitely still do that.
Just have to hire a lawyer.
I just try not to. Local?
The Blues have announced their 2025-26 schedule.
Hooray. How's it look?
Well, from what I'm hearing, the experts, I guess that'd be the broadcasters, are saying that they think this schedule's a lot more favorable. Last year's schedule, there was a lot of back-to-backs that they played, and you can imagine you think about just how exhausting like taking a lap around a skating rink is. Well, you can think of the last time you skated. It's tiring, right? I mean, going full speed 100% of the time, and you're not on the ice for 60 minutes. Like, you're usually on the ice for around 20 of those 60 minutes. But how exhausting that is. And then saying, okay, you don't have any time to recuperate. You have to do it again the next day.
Yeah.
The Blues did that a lot. And at several points in the season last year, the Blues were well ahead of the rest of the league as far as how many games they had played.
Yeah.
The Blues are not in that situation this year, which a lot of people are excited about in the business. The Blues will open up the regular season this year at home at the Enterprise Center against the Minnesota Wild. And the Wild are another competitive team in the division. 26 division games, including 4 against the Blackhawks, the Dallas Stars, the Predators, the Utah Mammoth, and the Winnipeg Jets. The rest of the schedule will include 24 games against Pacific Division teams and a home-and-home set with each of the 16 Eastern Conference teams. The season finale will be on April 16th, and the season starts with 7 of 11 October games at Enterprise Center. So it's always fun when you have a lot of home games to start off the year.
Blues looking up. Excited about the next season?
Yes.
Personnel?
Very excited. They made some great additions. They have a lot of young talent, and that talent is all expected to make improvements and continue making the steps to be more and more impactful. So there's some high expectations for the season, but also the division that they're in is really good. So there's going to be a lot of great competition all season long. And something interesting this year also, this isn't specific to the Blues, but to the NHL as a whole, this year NHL players are allowed to be playing in the Winter Olympics. So there's going to be a league-wide break from
Is that in Los Angeles?
Yes.
That makes a huge difference, too, when it's in your time zone-ish. Because if you're a pro player and you're playing somewhere else and it's on the other side of the world, it's a lot more to get ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're trying to go in and out of the sports season that's actually in play.
Actually, I'm not sure if it's in the 2028 one is in Los Angeles, the Summer Olympics. I'm not sure where this upcoming Winter Olympics are.
Okay.
But regardless, there's going to be a 20-day break from February 5th to February 25th. Last year we had the little mini Four Nations tournament that they did.
That was cool.
It went very well, so there's a lot of people that are excited about that, but it'll be interesting for them to have that long of a pause from the NHL season. So always excited to get those dates on the counter and to see what the schedule is going to be like for the Blues. Time to wrap up here, or one more story, Annie?
One more quick story. Let's
Okay.
hit it.
Adam Wainwright is set to host a Big League Bash charity concert coming up on July 27th at the Factory in Chesterfield from 5:30 to 10:30. Of course, we know that he's been very involved with Big League Bash here for a long time now. It'll include rising country artists Joanna Cotton, Austin Bohannon, and several others. He also has gotten involved in the music world here a little bit in the last few years since retiring from Major League Baseball. There's more information on this, but this is kind of the general information. Like I said, July 27th at the Factory in Chesterfield, Missouri, if you want to see Adam Wainwright perform for a good cause.
Yeah, definitely. Go check it out. All right, good one. I can't repeat the whole list of whatever it was that they just said that segment was called.
I can't either. Home runs and stuff.
Happenings.
Was it a ground rule double?
At minimum.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right,
Appreciate
let's
that.
take a break. When we come back, Trisha is going to jump in the studio here with us for a little Annie, Are You Okay? And Ryan will be back tomorrow, I'm sure, with lots of fun stories and his trip with his family member there. So let's take a quick break and bring Trisha in here next. Don't go away. The Diamond Shop, you find them online at thediamondshop.net. This July, they've got some really great things in store for you. I want to make sure that you know in Clayton, you can go visit them in person, and I highly encourage that. You're going to get to know the folks, this family-owned and operated business with Tom, with Mona, the team there. They really understand what they're doing, and they know how to listen to you and to hear, here's what you're looking for. Here's who you're looking for. This is my budget. You're going to feel very respected going into that store repeatedly. You're going to feel respected going out of that store because that's how they've stayed in business. They've been around since 1910. That's pretty impressive, I should say. All watches right now are 25% off. That includes Movado watches, 40% off all in-stock jewelry, and you can shop the summer clearance and estate sale. Red tag clearance up to 70% off and 50% off all estate pieces. When you sign up to be a VIP, tack an extra 10% on those red tag clearance items. Folks, it's time to get over to thediamondshop.net and sign up to become a VIP. Thediamondshop.net.
Do you know what went down at the Viper Room the night River Phoenix died? Are you aware of how Steve McQueen escaped death at the hands of the Manson family? But what about the real-life brutal murder that inspired David Lynch's Twin Peaks? These stories and more are told in the Hollywoodland podcast, where true crime and Tinseltown collide. Follow and listen to Hollywoodland wherever you get your podcasts.
Getting a new roof is serious business, and you want to make sure you're working with someone you can trust. Mark Cox here for Correll Roofing Company. My friend Curtis Correll is a lifetime St. Louisan. He's a local business owner, and he's running crews with over 20 years of experience. When Curtis gets on your roof, you can trust him to be honest with you about whether you need a new roof or not. He will work out all of the details with your insurance company and make sure you're getting the right roof for your home. He tells me he doesn't overcommit. So when other roofing companies do that, quality suffers, customer service can drop off. At Correll Roofing, they pay attention to details. They have quality materials and workmanship, and they use quality roofs that are built to last. That's what you want. They can also help you out with luxury line roofing like metal roofs and architectural shingles. Call 314-222-9529. That's 222-9529. Or Correll Roofing Co. on Facebook.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon with news for listeners who, like me, want to learn more about Bitcoin. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club is coming to St. Louis later this summer. The Bitcoin Ben Crypto Clubs teach members what Bitcoin is, how to buy it, how to safely store it, and how to avoid scams. And we'll connect with others like us who want to learn more about crypto. St. Louis will be the 7th club nationwide and Ben's hometown. If you want to know more about Bitcoin, you need to know Bitcoin Ben. Learn more at bitcoinben.io. That's bitcoinben.io.
Today's YouTube live chat poll, do you still trust Kash Patel or Pam Bondi? 4 options here. You trust the FBI director, you trust the attorney general, you trust both, or you trust neither. So be sure to go ahead and put your votes in on Annie Fry Show's YouTube channel, and we're going to be sharing the results to those in just about 20 minutes. The time is 2:35. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. Built on backbone, not buzzwords. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis conservative.
And now it's time to play Is Annie Okay With This?
Well, Trish is in studio with us here to bring some stories to us that I get to decide if I'm okay or not, and we're happy to have you. What do you got?
Annie and crew, good afternoon. Freeze branding is becoming a trendy tattoo alternative. You heard of this one?
Oh, God.
It's a new...
Freeze branding?
Branding. Yep. A new craze has popped up called freeze branding, and it is tattooing human skin with icy cold liquid nitrogen. It's something that is typically done to mark livestock. Now, young people on the internet are showcasing their icy brands.
It's got to be a good idea.
Healthcare professionals think otherwise, and they're warning against it because it can cause an acute bacterial infection. Mm-hmm. Annie, are you okay with tattoos?
If you want one. I don't have any. There's never been anything that I've been so compelled that I needed to put on my body.
Did you ever think about getting a tattoo?
No. But I don't like see people and judge them for the tattoos that they have, but it's never been something that I wanted. And I also think, what is the minimum age to get a tattoo? Do you have to be 18?
It used to be 18, yeah.
I wonder if you can get a tattoo at a younger age with parental permission.
You can.
You can get an abortion, so never mind. Forget the parental permission. I feel like we don't know enough about ourselves that early in our life to make that kind of a commitment.
Fair enough.
So, are people still getting Chinese characters tattoos? That was the biggest thing. Do you know what I'm talking about, Ethan?
You mean like the writings, like the actual...
Like a Chinese script character or something like that. That was the hugest thing in the 90s.
It looked so cool.
That and tramp stamps. Do you know what that is?
I know what those are.
Okay.
And the tribal.
Have you seen Ryan's?
No, but honestly, like that would check out so hard if he had one.
It's a dolphin.
I understand is yes.
Wait, stop.
It's a
He
dolphin.
actually has one?
Yep.
Are we being serious? I can't tell if you guys are kidding.
And a rainbow. You have to ask him about it. He'll tell you all about it. He doesn't show everybody, though. I don't know.
You think I'm important enough to show?
I think you should just tackle him.
Show me your jam, Steve.
Show it to me right now.
Pull it down. Oh, my God.
Just video it before you do it, and that's fine with me.
Yes, please.
Go ahead. I don't care. As far as tattoos go, I feel like if that's what you want to do, that's none of my business. But I don't. I'm not like looking forward to my kids getting sweet tattoos. So high on my list.
Eyelash mites could be to blame for your itchy, dry eyes.
Oh, no.
Over 20 million Americans have dry eye disease. There are a lot of causes: dry air, medications, screen time, to name a few. But a board-certified ophthalmologist out of New York is saying it could actually be microscopic pests living in eyelashes and eyebrows. Apparently, most of us have a tiny population of these parasites in our hair follicles and sebaceous glands. It's super gross, but they're typically harmless unless there's too many of them.
This explains a lot.
This doctor recommends washing your face, including your eyelashes, daily with an eyelid formulated cleanser, whatever that is. Annie, are you okay with sleeping with your makeup on?
Oh, crap. Yeah. I'm not okay with it, but I do it all the time. I have makeup wipes next to my bed so that I can take it off.
And then just throw them.
The intention is there.
Yeah.
You just have the wipes all over your room. Just
have you been in my room?
No, I'm asking. Don't you?
No.
Don't do that.
Awkward.
I do sleep with makeup on. The key here is that I put makeup on for this show because we're on camera. I have wipes in my car so that when I get out of this building, I don't have this makeup on my face when I go to the next thing. Because I very rarely get to leave here and just go home.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have a ton of makeup on come bedtime, but I'll shower at night 50% of the time. Sometimes it's in the morning. It just depends. I take a shower every day. But I'm not like, there's no routine on the Annie Fry YouTube channel, like Annie's bedtime skin routine.
The routine.
No.
There's no vlogging going on. Like, hey, this is how I get ready for bed at night.
Get ready with me.
It's just what is it? The blue bottles of water. And
While I'm
stuff.
doing it, Molly's taking my toothbrush and cleaning the toilet in the background, and just I can't.
This is my dental hygiene routine.
I can't do these things.
There's only so many hours in a day.
There's too much that I would if I had these ideas and I tried to implement them, it would never materialize the way I wanted it to materialize.
Not with that attitude.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right.
Have a better attitude about it.
All right. Possessed Annabelle doll's caretaker dies suddenly at 54 while on tour with the toy. Paranormal investigator Dan Riviera, known for his
so excited.
work with the infamous Annabelle doll, passed away in his Pennsylvania hotel room at the age of 54.
Pause. Ethan, do you know what the Annabelle doll is?
Yeah, it's so spooky.
What is the Annabelle doll?
The Annabelle doll.
My cousin always used to call me Annabelle.
Well, if you've seen, there was a movie created about it as a part of the Conjuring series, but Ed and Lorraine Warren have done a bunch of different work within like supernatural, whether it be like exorcists or trying to, address like how would I best describe this? Like work with people that are having supernatural occurrences. They've done a bunch of that's what the
investigators.
Yes, that's exactly what it. Paranormal investigators. They are what in large part the Conjuring series is based off of. Some of that is true, some of it is not. But the Annabelle doll was like their most famous case, and they made it look way creepier in the movies. But it's really just a Raggedy Ann doll, and there's been like multiple occurrences where people either died after messing with it in their occult museum, or touched it, or challenged it, and have as a result died. So anytime I hear this, I'm like, oh, this is super interesting.
When they're investing their time and energy into this Annabelle doll, it's because they are acknowledging that there is something paranormal or evil or whatever associated with it. So like FAFO, get away from that stuff. Like if you're like poking a doll going like, any demons in here?
Yeah.
Anything scary want to come out and kill me? And then you're taking this doll around. Like I
mess around
I feel
with it.
sorry for this man's family. I have my own skepticism on people who dive into these things. How many people think it's actually going to materialize? But they're entertainers, and they're presenting this stuff for the entertainment of people who like to be spooked by this stuff. But don't mess with this stuff. Don't go there. What's your question? Sorry. I saw the story, and I'm just like, stop going there.
Are
Don't
you
screw
okay
with
with
it.
scary movies?
Well, to the point of this story, I don't need to see stuff that's about screwing around with demonic anything, because I believe that's real. Do I believe in like lingering ghosts and spirits trapped in this world? No, I think you die and you go to heaven and hell, and that's, my personal belief. I understand people have varying details on what they believe there. But do I believe in angels and demons and the fact that, okay, here's the deal. Briefly, you can't be somebody who says that you're a Christian. And a lot of people think, oh, Christian, you're supposed to be a good person and do nice things. No, that's not what being Christian is. A Christian is an admission that you are a miserable, broken failure, and you have been made whole by something so much greater than you could ever even imagine. And that type of love causes you to want to share that with other people and spread that message. But being a Christian is an identification and an admission of absolute brokenness. And it's made whole by, in my belief, Jesus. But why would you need to have a savior save you from something that's like, bad deeds? That's not what it is. If you believe in the necessity of something so good as Jesus as a savior, then you have to acknowledge that he is saving you from something significant, which means the acknowledgement of something so good as a Christian faith and the idea of heaven, which I fully believe in. You have to acknowledge that there has to be a converse of that, because otherwise there's no necessity for Jesus in the first place. All of that would be unnecessary if you weren't being saved from something. So when you screw around with things like that, you're inviting in something that I believe to be completely real. I didn't participate in Ouija boards and stuff like that when I was a kid, even though I was at a party or two where they somehow or another came out. And scary movies that get in your head about that type of stuff, I don't think that you should be inviting that into your head. I can't tell everybody what to do. If you like that stuff, if it entertains you, that's fine. But that's not playing. If it's like a psychological thriller and there's some sort of like, super suspenseful story, I'll take suspense, but I don't need demonic horror in my life. I'm not interested in handing the invitation over to that type of stuff. Do you watch that stuff?
I am fascinated by, like I said, the ones that at least have some sort of like based on a true story. Like the Conjuring series, I am pretty fascinated by a lot of that. Like I've watched a lot more than just like the movies, as far as like, oh, what actually happened? What are these stories that these people tell? But I mean, it hasn't gone beyond that as far as like obviously trying things out myself or anything like that. So I don't know. I kind of draw a line. But it's sad anytime that people are affected by this and they get so hooked in that it's like all of a sudden, you want to try these things out yourself. Especially in this case, it's horrible that someone died messing around too much with this stuff. But it is pretty crazy, because I think it's super easy to get just into your shell that this is life and it's just in the physical here on Earth. And then you see these kinds of things and it really challenges that. And I feel like there's just so many question marks as to what that is. It is an interesting subject.
And I would say that doll is not in and of itself evil, but it's the evil that you invite into your head and maybe your heart when you're messing around with that stuff. It's just don't be the devil's playground. That's scary movies.
Fair enough. You want another one?
One more.
Little boy gets stuck in a claw machine. This is out of a community center in Mason, Ohio.
Like the claw?
Claw. In there with the little stuffed animals. Surveillance video shows a young boy walking up to a claw machine, opening the prize chute, and crawling inside head first.
You'd think that they would be designed in a way that would not permit children to go in there.
That you can't get in there, yeah. But moments later, he's surrounded by stuffed animals and completely stuck.
Was he happy or scared?
It's unclear. The video footage isn't that good. You see workers unplugging the machine and wheeling it to a nearby shop, and then first responders arrive shortly after and remove the child through the back of the arcade game. Thankfully, he appears to be unharmed.
Did he get to keep a stuffy?
That is a question that was not answered, but there
That's
was
crazy.
actually a line in this story that said unclear if he got to keep his prize. Annie, are you okay with arcades?
Man, I don't make enough money to send my kids to an arcade. All of the fun that is everywhere, and it's like, this game that's going to last 42 seconds costs $5. And I'm like, I could buy the skee ball game for less than it's going to cost to let my 4 kids play this. Arcades used to be the family fun time in Maryville when I was growing up. Alfonso's Pizza was attached to Family Fun Time, and that was the place to go. And they had laser tag, and I'm pretty sure. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. I mean, the room was dark. Like, I don't know how clean it was in there. I'm sure it was perfectly fine. But going with the basketball team or the baseball team or whatever after a game and eating Alfonso's Pizza, and which is still there in Troy now and delicious, and playing in the arcade, man, that was awesome. The memories are great, but good grief, it used to cost $0.25.
I love that Jurassic Park game, but Eddie and I will get in there and we're like, we don't have $40 to do this for 15 minutes.
It's not fulfilling enough for the investment. But arcades are fun. All right. Well, thank you. We appreciate you, Tricia. Thanks for being in here.
Thanks for having me.
When we come back, Ethan will give us the results to the YouTube live chat poll. Do you still trust Cash Patel or Pam Bondi? Let us know your thoughts on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. We'll give you those results next.
Places that I've never been, seeing things that I may never see again.
The Retirement Advisory Group, online at retirementkey.com. We've got an event coming up, and I sure hope that you're going to be there. Reserve your spot by calling 314-993-9494. But Annie, when is this event? How can I know if I can make it? It's Tuesday, August 5th at the Frontenac Hilton, 6:30 p.m. Simple to get to. And you're going to start the event at 6:30. They maybe take 45 minutes total to tell you the things that you need to know to answer your questions so that you can make an educated decision on what to do next. If the Retirement Advisory Group has earned your interest and you want to set up that personal appointment, you can do that after the fact. But this event is free. It costs you nothing, and you have access to the best in the biz, making sure that that transition from working into retirement, that you cover all of the necessary bases. It's Tuesday, August 5th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. I'll be there. Mark and Mark will be there. 314-993-9494. 314-993-9494. Reserve your spot and come say hi. RetirementKey.com.
Jason Aldean is coming to Hollywood Casino Amphitheater on July 19th. Want to go for free? Listen to The Mark Reardon Show all this week from 3 to 6. We're giving away a pair of tickets every day through Thursday.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
No pain, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Smart talk, strong values. This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
When it's cold outside, I've got the month of May.
I was going to say, what movie is this in from my childhood that is so impactful, but it's My Girl?
Wait, that's the movie it's from?
You don't know the movie My Girl?
Oh, no.
You want to hear it?
Ethan.
The
Macaulay Culkin, man.
Thomas J.
The movie that I heard this movie in was Racing
in?
Stripes. You
I don't know
remember
what that
Racing
Oh,
Stripes?
is that the zebra one?
It's the zebra one.
What? I don't know the
Yep.
words you're saying. Is this how you feel when we talk?
Hayden Panettiere was in it, if you know who that is.
Yeah.
That is where I heard their song for the first time. And a horsefly was singing it.
The words you're saying, I do not know what were. Is it a cartoon? Or was it a real horsefly?
No.
With a talent?
It was about a zebra that...
Is it a kid's movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about a zebra that ended up becoming a racehorse. And
My Girl
it was
is
a talking
about,
zebra.
My Girl is about a girl. What is her name? It's a different kind of name in the movie. Her dad is a funeral director, embalmer. What do you call that person? I'm apparently out of words today at 2:53 on the show. What is her name?
It says he operates a...
Veda.
Okay, yeah, I would have never have gotten that.
He operates a funeral home. So there's a kind of a macabre thing to all of it, but
I've never heard of this movie.
My Girl?
What a surprise.
Oh my gosh, dude.
It was a huge movie.
Mm-hmm.
Macaulay Culkin. I mean, that's Macaulay Culkin of near
Jamie
Home
Lee
Alone.
Curtis.
Yeah. Might have been the other love interest of him, because I think Veda's mom died. Not to scoop My Girl. Spoiler alert.
I'll stick with Racing Stripes. It's fine.
Macaulay Culkin dies in that movie, right? From bee stings?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
depressing.
It's a dramatic scene at the end of the movie.
It's super traumatic. Going through all these movies that I want to show my kids, I passed on My Girl because I'm like, they're going to be devastated. Watching these two, they have a friendship, like a super special friendship, and it's just a really great movie. And then at the end, you're like, holy smokes, I wasn't prepared for that.
I didn't realize that Macaulay Culkin was anything besides Home Alone. Home Alone 2.
Are you kidding me?
What else was he in other than that?
Richie Rich,
Richie Rich.
Uncle Buck,
The Good
Oh, yeah?
Child.
The Page Master,
Don't know what that is.
Party Monster. That's pretty much about it.
Quick Rick said Spaceballs, My Girl. What else hasn't Ethan seen? Men in Black.
Oh, we could go through like a whole list
Just
of
the other
movies that I haven't
a
seen.
week ago, I think it was, we were talking about Ryan and his added sugar fast, and I stuck my head outside to Ethan, and I'm like, "Hey, Ethan, you know the alien in Men in Black who's like, sugar, I need sugar water." He's looking at me like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, "Have you seen Men in Black?"
We were scrolling through a list, remember, of movies. I was like,
No.
I haven't seen that. Nope, haven't seen that. I googled best movies of all time, and there was a list of the best 250 movies, and I mean, there was too many. That
You
I
got
hadn't
some
seen.
work to do.
I know.
Yeah.
You should print out that list.
I'm bad at homework.
YouTube live chat poll for today. Do you still trust Kash Patel and Pam Bondi? What about you, Brad? How do you feel about these appointees from President Trump?
I mean, really, the only fumble that they've had has been the Epstein list. They've done a lot of good things with the other areas that we were complaining about, so I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt on the Epstein list. I think there's more to come from this, so yeah, I trust them.
I do trust them I trust Trump, really. Ultimately, I trust Trump. And if they're still in there, then I trust Trump to continue to make that good decision. So for me, I trust both. And I trust that Trump will make the right call if the time comes to make a change. Ethan, let's get the results.
229 votes on today's YouTube live chat poll. Do you trust Trump's Justice Department? 48% of voters trust both. 35% trust neither. 13% trust just the FBI, and 4% trust just the Attorney General.
Yeah. Well, we'll do another poll tomorrow, and Ryan will be back. Mark Reardon up next.
Are you nearing retirement and don't know if you have enough money saved to retire? That is scary. Do you have a written retirement financial plan in place? Well, when it comes to retirement planning, the trusted team at Financial and Tax Architects are the best. They've helped people all over St. Louis retire with confidence. And that's what you want. You want to retire with confidence. Now, they offer a one-night, 2.5-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. They hold these at colleges over the St. Louis area and in Illinois. No cost, no obligation, just learning. And at this class, you learn how to avoid costly mistakes, how to maximize your income, how to reduce taxes in retirement. So call them today, 314-888-5101, or visit fta-ria.com and take the first step toward a smarter retirement. 314-888-5101.
Baseball is all about stepping up to the plate when it matters most. And when you've been injured, you need a heavy hitter in your corner. At Morgan & Morgan, we don't back down. We fight to get you every dollar you deserve. No curveballs, no strikeouts, just results. That's why we've recovered over $25 billion for our clients and fight for them from offices nationwide. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, proud sponsor of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
An official message from Medicare.
I turned 65 this year. I knew it was time to figure out Medicare, and I had questions, like when to enroll and how to enroll. So I went straight to the official source, Medicare.gov, to get the facts about Medicare. I found answers to all my questions, and I'm ready to get started. And so can you. Just go to Medicare.gov to get the real facts about Medicare.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
1 in 4 people surveyed by Bankrate.com say they're literally losing sleep because of worries that they may have not saved enough to retire. If you're ready to get serious about planning for your financial future, you could start by listening to the All Financial Hour with host Steve All of the All Financial Group.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different. If you want assistance, we can also help you at that point.
Tune in to the All Financial Hour with Steve All, Saturday mornings at 6, right here on 97.1 FM Talk.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
A push to cut billions. I'm Tom Graham, Fox News. Senate Republicans passing a package aimed at cutting $9 billion in spending on foreign aid. It also slashes funding for public broadcasting. White House spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt.
This will help restore fiscal sanity in our country by rescinding billions in wasteful foreign aid and finally ending taxpayer funding for PBS and NPR, 2 media organizations that have ridiculously used federal dollars to push a partisan left-wing agenda for many years.
Democrats voting in lockstep against the rescission bill.
Just like with the big ugly bill, the more Americans learn about what Republicans just did in this rescission package, the more they won't like it, and the more Republicans will squirm.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. The measure now goes to the Republican-controlled House. The House also voting on a trio of bills this afternoon aimed at boosting the legitimacy of cryptocurrency with new regulations. More protests today against President Trump. The latest demonstrations aimed at speaking out against the administration's mass deportation effort.
Protests are planned at more than 1,600 locations around the country as part of the Good Trouble Lives On National Day of Action, honoring the late Congressman and civil rights leader John Lewis. Organizers are targeting the Trump administration's immigration policies and recent changes to Medicaid in the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Republicans have argued the immigration policies are a winning issue, supported by most Americans, while arguing the Medicaid reforms will strengthen the program and save the U.S. significant amounts of money. On Capitol